We begin with our football seniors tonight. Our first senior is Jack Barrett, escorted by parents Daryl and Jennifer Barrett. While here at Cal, he has played football and soccer. His favorite Bible verse is Psalm 121, verses 1 and 2. Next year, he'll be attending the University of Alabama, majoring in finance. And he has been here at Cal for the past 7 years. Coach Campbell says of him, "Jack, it has been a pleasure to see the man and football player you have become. You are such an asset to our program, both on and off the field. Managing excellence on the soccer field, the classroom, and on the football field is no small task, and you have done it well with ease. I cannot wait to see what God has in store for you in your future endeavors." Our next senior is McKay Batchy, escorted by Jill and Dave. While here at Cal, he has played football and baseball. His favorite Bible verse is Isaiah 41:13. He is yet undecided on what college to attend, but will be majoring in mechanical engineering, and he has been a lifer here at Cal. Coach Riley says McCain is a 4-year player and a 2-year starter at linebacker for our defense. He is a tremendous influence in the middle of our defense with his great knowledge and leadership. His understanding of defensive concepts makes him a very dangerous linebacker for the opposing offense. McCain is a fabulous young man and a leader for our team and the school community. He is another shining example of Cal football's dedication to excellence on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. It has been an honor to be a small part of McCain's growth as a player and a young man. Our coaching staff looks forward to seeing McCain excel in all his future endeavors. He will be extremely missed next year, but leaves a legacy of excellence for our younger players behind him. Thank you, McCain. Our next senior is Gavin Heath Copenhaver, escorted by parents Keith and Natalie Copenhaver. While here at Cal, he has played football. His favorite Bible verse is Philippians 3:14, and he is yet undecided on which college to attend, but will have a dual major of civil engineering and aviation. He's been here at Cal for 5 years. Coach Riley says Gavin is a 4-year player and a 3-year starter at linebacker for our defense, and a 2-year starter at running back. He has been an anchor in the middle of the defense and a true leader on the field and in the classroom. He's a young man of great character and honor who leads by example in his daily life. Gavin has been and is a leader figure in the school for our team and the Cal family. This is the main reason he was picked by his fellow teammates as a team captain. As his coach the past 4 years, it's been an honor and privilege to see him grow as a player and a young man. Our coaching staff looks forward to seeing Gavin excel in all his future endeavors. He'll be extremely missed next year, but leaves a legacy of excellence for the younger players to follow. Thank you, Gavin. Our next senior is Noah Hazlett, escorted by parents Rob and Cindy Hazlett, and he has played football here at Cal. His favorite Bible verse is Isaiah 40, verse 31. Next year he will be at the University of Kentucky, majoring in biology, and he's been a lifer here at Cal. Coach Hilliard says, as the quarterback of this offensive line, you are the glue that makes this unit go. Luke 12:48 reads, "To whom much is given, much is required." And you are the epitome of that scripture. As a coach, I put so much responsibility on your plate, and you have never let me down. You are truly a leader of this football team, and one of the best players I've ever had the privilege to coach. May you continue to lead in every aspect of your life, and I pray for much success in all your future endeavors. Next up is Nate Heidenreich, escorted by parents Lisa Heidenreich, brother Chris, and grandfather Andy Patrice. While here at Cal, he's played football, and his favorite Bible verse is Ephesians 3:16. Next year, he will be at the University of Kentucky, majoring in business, and he's been here at Cal for 4 years. Coach's comments. Nate is a 4-year player and a 3-year starter on defense at quarterback and outside linebacker. He has also been a full-time starter at receiver for our offense. Nate has been a huge part of our success as he has been at Cal. He has been asked to play at several positions for us and has excelled every time. His move to outside linebacker this year has been a great blessing for our defense, and Nate has dominated the edge. Whether Nate is on the field or in the classroom, he's a major influence for our community. Nate is a great example of perseverance and strong will to accomplish great things. He is a fantastic young man and a tribute to what Cal football teaches. Our coaching staff looks forward to seeing Nate excel in all of his future endeavors. He will be missed next year, but our younger players have a legacy to follow from them. Thank you for your work, Nate. Our next senior is Asa Yost, escorted by parents Kirk and Gwen Dumas. While here at Cal, he has played both football and soccer. And his favorite Bible verse is Psalm 139, verses 15 and 16. He's yet undecided on which college to attend, but plans to major in astrophysics. And he's been here at Cal for 12 years. Coach Campbell says, Asa, I'm so glad you decided to play football this season. It has been great getting to know you and your family, and your positive attitude and outlook on everything has been a great addition to the team. Your hard work and dedication to this new sport has been very cool to witness, and I'm excited to see what that attitude is going to do for you in the future. Our next senior is Sam McCown, escorted by parents Philip and Mike McCown. While here at Cal, he has played both baseball and football. His favorite Bible verse is 2 Chronicles chapter 15, verse 7. Next year, he will either attend the University of Kentucky or a trade school and major in agriculture. And he's been here at Cal for 10 years. Coach Gamsky says, Sam is a beast. It is an absolute pleasure to watch Sam play the game of football. His attitude and effort that he brings to the field every day is to be admired. He sets the standard for how one should practice as a Christian academy. He has a natural joy about him that young players can look up to, and his spirit will be missed when he graduates and moves on to bigger things in life. Gunnar McKinley, escorted by Matt and Samantha McKinley. While here at Cal, he has played basketball and football. And his favorite Bible verse is Philippians 1:6. Next year, he plans to attend the University of Florida and major in biomedical engineering. And he's been a lifer here at Cal. Coach Stokridge says, Happy birthday, Gunnar! Amazingly proud of you, kid. You are the definition of a servant leader on and off the field. Continue to keep proving yourself right each and every day, no matter the obstacle. Your energy and the way you go about your business is contagious. Stay true to who you are, and you will go far. Our next senior is Jalen McRoberts, escorted by parents Pam and Mary McRoberts. While here at Cal, he has played football. His favorite Bible verse is Psalm 16, verse 8. Next year, he plans to attend Western Kentucky University and major in civil engineering. He's been here at Cal for 2 years. Coach McKinney says Jalen is a great example of perseverance. Despite being faced with adversity throughout his career, Jalen has always worked to overcome whatever obstacles are in his way. It is that hard work and dedication that has allowed him to contribute to his football program during his time here at Cal. Jalen's positive attitude and energy will be missed by both coaches and players next season, and that will be a key factor to his success in the future. Next senior is Jacob Merritt, escorted by John and Joy Merritt. He has played football during his time here at Cal. His favorite Bible verse is John 3:16. He is yet undecided on which college to attend, but plans to major in business. And he's been here at Cal for 2 years. Coach Hildred says, over the past 2 years you've been at Cal, I've seen tremendous growth in you. I've seen your confidence grow, as well as your willingness to fight through adversity. These are things that I believe will help you to achieve all the goals you have set for yourself. I appreciate your tremendous effort and dedication to this team, and I pray for much success in all you do in the future. Our next senior is Xavier Knopf, escorted by Kyra Burnett, Bo Knopf, and stepfather Rick Crawford. While here at Cal, he has played football, and his favorite Bible verse is Psalm 16:8. Next year, he'll be at BCTC, majoring in welding, and he's been here at Cal for the last 6 years. Coach Hildred says, Though slightly undersized, you are the attitude and intensity that leads this offensive line unit. As a coach, we always say that we would rather have to pull a guy back than make him go hard. And that has never been the case with you. Your fearless demeanor and your refusal to fail will take you extremely far in life. I've always told you that if you were 6'3" and 290 pounds, every college in the nation would be beat down your door. I deeply appreciate the leadership and attitude that you bring to this team, and I cannot wait to see what you achieve next. I pray God's blessings on you as you move forward in your journey, and I encourage you to never lose the edge that makes you so very special. Our next senior is Isaac Patrick, escorted by Scott Patrick, Joe Charles, and Melissa Patrick. While here at Cal, he has played football and run track and field. His favorite Bible verse is 1 Corinthians 9:27. Next year, he will be at Purdue University, majoring in fire science. And he's been a lifer here at Cal. Coach Jones says, I've watched Isaac develop from being a quiet player to our QB in the defensive backfield. He has played every down to date on defense. And let's not forget, he is a tremendous person as well, on and off the field. His effort, his durability, and his leadership will be greatly missed. Escorted by Patrice Long and Kevin Rankin. While here at Cal, he has participated in the football program. And his favorite Bible verse is Romans 8:37. Next year, he'll be at the University of Kentucky, majoring in kinesiology. And he's been a lifer here at Cal. Coach Hildred says, from the time you stepped foot on the field your freshman year, I knew you'd be a very special part of this program. At an early age, not many players could manage the pressure and demands that us coaches put on our players. But that wasn't the case for you. You've always been mature beyond your years and a leader for this program in your school. I'm so immensely proud of the young man that you've become, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to coach you. May God continue to bless you in all you do. Our next senior is Braden Robinson, escorted by parents Jennifer and Adam Robinson. While here at Cal, he has played on the football team and archery. His favorite Bible verse is Psalm 27, verses 1 through 4. Next year, he plans to attend trade school to be an electrician, and he's been a lifer here at Cal. Coach Raleigh says, Braden is a 4-year player and a 2-year starter and linebacker for our defense. Braden has been an integral part of our defensive success the last 3 years. His speed and knowledge of the game have contributed to his success at outside linebacker. Braden is a fantastic young man and leader for our team and defense. He is another in a long line of top football players who lead by example in all phases of their lives. It's been a great and fast 4 years watching Braden grow as a player and young man. Our coaching staff looks forward to seeing Braden excel in all his future endeavors. He'll be extremely missed next year, but leaves a legacy of excellence for our younger players to follow. And our final football senior, Andy Russell, escorted by parents Phil and Lisa Russell. Andy has participated in the football program during his time here at Cal, and his favorite Bible verse is Romans 12, verses 1 and 2. Next year, he will attend Stanford University, majoring in business marketing, and he's been here at Cal for 7 years. Coach Jones says, Andy is a guy that you want on your team. He does what you ask to support the team. He has a great attitude and will be a leader in his future endeavors. His spiritual leadership is a blessing to his teammates and all who know him. Next up, our senior cheerleaders. Our first senior cheerleader is Cameron Lightburn, escorted by parents Ian and Eddie Cox. While here at Cal, she has participated in the cheerleading program, and her favorite Bible verse is 1 Peter 5:10. Next year, she will attend Georgetown College and be majoring in pre-med. She's been here at Cal for 6 years. Coach says, Cam has been a kind-hearted and strong leader on the team. She is hardworking, dedicated, and gives 100%. She is always working to improve not only herself, but finds ways to help make the team and those around her better also. We appreciate her loyalty to the team and miss her compassionate spirit. Our next singer is Daniel Lane. While here at Cal, she's participated in the cheerleading program. Her favorite Bible verse is Philippians 4:13. And next year she will attend the University of Kentucky, but she has yet undecided in her major. And she's been a lifer here at Cal. Coach says, Kale, she is a team player who always knows how to get those around her to smile, whether that be wearing outfits to practice or coming up with inside jokes to the team. She's been a member of the team the whole time she's been in high school, and we love watching her improve as a cheerleader. Her powerful spirit will be greatly missed. Our next singer is Jessica Tieferteller. That's one of my parents, Amy and Michelle Tieferteller. She has been a cheerleader during her time here at Cal. Her favorite Bible verse is 1 Peter 4:8. Next year she'll attend the University of Kentucky, majoring in elementary education. She's been here at Cal for 3 years. Coach says of Jessica, we love watching her grow as a cheerleader in university. We love her confidence, her determination, and her ability to make those around her go on. She has so much spirit and always knows how to hype up the rest of the team and those around her. She always brings good ideas and we appreciate her dedication and confidence she brings to the team.
Are you guys going to get snacks?
Next singer is Amy Manning. She's been a cheerleader during her time here at Cal. Her favorite Bible verse is Romans 8:18. She is yet undecided on which college to attend, but will be majoring in social work. And she is also a Cal lifer. Coach says, although her time on the team has been short, Megan has quickly picked up the cheers and worked hard to catch up with the rest of the team. Her dedication and hard work shows, and we wish she would have been on the team much longer. Mary Grace Manhoff. And she's been a cheerleader during her time here at Cal. Her favorite Bible verse is Esther 4:14. Next year she'll attend Georgetown College, majoring in pre-med, and she's been here at Cal the last 2 years. Coach says that Mary Grace has such a kind and calm spirit and is such a joy to coach. She never complains and always remains a team player. She always brings 100% to practice and works diligently to improve her skills. We appreciate the leadership, cheerfulness, and positivity she brings to the team. Next singer is Ringley Van Stacy, escorted by Joey Van Stacy. She's been a cheerleader during her time here at Cal, and her favorite Bible verse is Jeremiah 29:11. Next year she hopes to attend Asbury University and major in psychology. She's been here at Cal for 2 years. Coach says that although she may be one of our local cheerleaders, we've enjoyed watching Ringley grow as a cheerleader and continue to develop her skills. She always comes to practices in games ready to work. She gives 100% and never once will complain. She is always willing to develop her skill and we appreciate her determination.
Hey guys, good to see ya. Oh man, all right, I got it.
First up is Nathaniel Ryan, escorted by parents David and Kristen Ryan. And while here at Cal, he has run cross country and track, and his favorite Bible verse is Philippians 1:6. He is yet undecided on college and major, but he's been a lifer here at Cal.
Yeah, I'm great.
Coach says Nathaniel has worked hard and made the biggest improvements on the team in his final season.
Never been
He is someone who's
right.
proud to be there every day, working hard and setting an example for the younger runners. He is a true inspiration to watch every single day. Next singer is Varsity. Escorted by parents Stacy and Gregory. while here at Cal. His favorite Bible verse is John 16, verse 33. He's yet undecided on which college he'll attend, but plans to major in computer science. He also has been a lifer here at Cal. Coach says that Carson is a true multi-sport track and cross country student athlete. He's excelled as both a runner and a high jumper, and watching him grow in both disciplines has been a great joy. His hard work and dedication to the team have made him perform.
So, he is a fly.
Our next speaker is Josh Jordan. Joined by parents Jeffrey and Jennifer Jordan. He also has run cross country and track. His favorite Bible verse is Psalm 18:29. Next year he plans to attend the University of Louisville, but he's yet undecided on his major. He's been a lifer here at Cal, and Coach says that Josh is one of those athletes that helps bring the team together. His personality and overall friendly nature are included in keeping the team together. On top of that, he pushes himself beyond his comfort zone every day in practice, serving as an inspiration to his teammates and coaches. Our next senior is Joshua Stroker. Escorted by parents Rob and Jennifer Stroker. While here at Cal, he has been on the lacrosse team, track and field, bowling, and cross country. His favorite Bible verse is Joshua 1:9. He is yet undecided on which college to attend, but plans to major in professional flight and aviation management. He's been here at Cal for 4 years. Coach says that Josh is one of those student athletes who works hard and carries himself with quiet confidence. He puts in his best effort every day and serves as a role model on the team. We're lucky to have him on the cross country team this year. And our next senior is Emma Wilkins, escorted by parents Doug and Gina Wilkins. While here at Cal, she's played basketball, run cross country, and track. Her favorite Bible verse is 1 Timothy 4:12. She's yet undecided on which college to attend, but plans to major in biology and pre-med. She's been a lifer here at Cal. Coach says that Emma has always been willing to put in the tough work to make herself a better student athlete. Her positivity is infectious, and has made her an invaluable part of this team. She'll do well whenever she decides to continue her education and her athletic career. And now
Solid. Glenn, it's solid.
Solid.
Yep.
our first senior is Janelle Parker, escorted by parents Bonnie and Kevin Parker. She's participated in marching band during her time here at Cal, and her favorite Bible verse is Ecclesiastes 3:1. Next year, she'll be attending Miami University of Ohio, majoring in architecture with a minor in fashion design. She's been at Cal for 14 years. Since joining in 7th grade, Janelle has become the go-to leader for not only the color guard, but for multiple areas within the band program at Cal. I know that she has limitless potential in any area in life, and she is a born leader both on and off the field. Her work ethic will take her anywhere she wants to go. Next senior is Jackson Carter. Escorted by parents Amy and Shelby Carter. While here at Cal, she participated in soccer and marching band. Her favorite Bible verse is John 11:35. I'll be happy. Be pursuing a career in fire and EMS with the National Guard. She's been here at Cal as a lifer. Being one of the best players on the field, Jackson's leadership by example is something that will be missed in the upcoming years. He always plays with confidence and always comes prepared regardless of what's happening. Our next senior is Jenny Castle. She participated in marching band from grades 7 through 12. The favorite Bible verse is Romans 8:18. Next year, Jenny will be at the University of Louisville, majoring in music education. She's been a lifer here at Cal. Starting out in the 7th grade, I could never have imagined what Tina was going to become or what she was capable of. Through hard work and determination, she has our future soloist this year, and it's earned everything she's had the opportunity to do. With that determination, she will be successful not only as a teacher herself today, but in life. Our next singer is Seth Duvall. Escorted by parents Chris and Cindy Duvall. While here at Cal, he's participated in marching band and musical. His favorite Bible verse is Jeremiah 29:11. Next year, Seth will attend Eastern Kentucky University, majoring in business. He's been a lifer here at Cal. Seth is the workhorse in our group. He does whatever it takes to get the job done and is willing to do little things to make sure the program is always going in the right direction. With him graduating, the band will be missing the leader behind the scenes, as he does so many of those little things that add up to make a big difference. Our next singer is Green Faith Lion, escorted by parents Thomas and Linda. While here at Cal, Green has participated in the marching band. Her favorite Bible verse is Jeremiah 29:11. Next year she'll be at University of Cumberland, majoring in music education. She's been a lifer here at Cal. Band director says, Green is the quiet encourager. She has helped grow the color guard into what it is today by supporting and honoring her to anyone who needs it. She has always been the one behind the leaders, supporting and offering help as needed. I cannot wait to see her leading her own musical process. She will be a great teacher in addition to Next singer is Rebecca Faith Borman. Escorted by parents Shannon and Karen. While here at Cal, she participated in marching band. Her favorite Bible verse is Psalm 94, verses 17 to 19. She's yet undecided on her college and major, and has been a lifer here at Cal. Rebecca has become the example of what it takes to be great. She works hard in color guard, music, and in life. She is an example to her fellow high school as to how the best part is not only how hard she works, but also how her humility and honesty be the example of the Christ follower of the community. Our next singer is Samuel Son, escorted by Amy King and host Mary County. While here at Cal, he's participated in marching band and basketball. His favorite Bible verse is Philippians 1:21. He's applied to UCLA and Boston College, planning to major in biomedical engineering. Been here at Cal for 3 years. Joining just 3 years ago, Samuel has always been a constant strategy with the women's section. Whether it is his ability to learn anything, he invites him to just simply shows up and does his job.
I'll go down.
And our next singer is Tate Leon Wu. While here at Cal, he participated in marching band. Favorite Bible verse is Ezekiel 25:17. He got undecided in college and plans to major in communication technology and engineering. Been here at Cal for 4 years. Leon joined this year as a principal part of not only learning how to play, but also how to learn. He's the prime example of desiring to learn and to do team. He is a great example of student who sports plans to learn more and more and do better. All right, Cal fans, let's hear it for all of our Cal singers this year.
Hello, everybody. Mike Botello here to do play-by-play Christian Academy of Louisville football tonight. As we just enjoyed a night of honoring the seniors, 15 football seniors, 4 cheerleaders, 4 cross-country players, and 9 from the marching band. And we honor and respect them. And in case you did not notice, and you will notice as we get to the national anthem, Indiana State Police is here in numbers tonight. That is because senior Isaac Patrick, his father was an Indiana State Trooper. He was killed in the line of action December 22nd, 2003, 6 months before Isaac was born. And they are here to honor his father, who was killed in action, Scott Patrick, all those years ago. You'll see the big American flag here tonight. That is also to honor him and also to honor the Centurion seniors who are graduating of the football players tonight. And we'd like to honor all the Indiana State Troopers, Scott Patrick, as well as the other men and women who have sacrificed their lives in the service to our country. As they are here tonight, each Centurion player tonight will be wearing badge number, the number 1615, which was Scott Patrick's badge number, on their helmet in honor of Trooper Patrick tonight. And man, I am joined tonight now. We'll bring him in, Draper Hall. And Draper, it is a momentous night when you can honor your seniors, but also honor one who has fallen in line of service and all the other gentlemen that help protect our communities.
Absolutely, and that's what it's all about. You know, this game has meant so much to me, and obviously it means so much to a lot of people, but even off the field, you think about a sense of community and honor and just respect, and that's exactly what we have on display here tonight.
Well, we also have a football game on display here tonight, and we will be cutting out for opening prayer and for national anthem here momentarily, but we can talk about it. Centurions, #1 in the state, AP poll, 8-0 on the season, going for not only their 9th victory, the 9th running clock of the season. Has there not been a close contest? And hopefully tonight, as you look on paper, it should be a victory against Western Hills, who's 2-6 on the season.
Yeah, I am extremely proud of what this team has been able to accomplish. You know, I've been fortunate enough to, be hanging around the football team a little bit even before the season started, and you have all these big, bold predictions, and you sort of look at the senior leadership and the relationships with the coaches, and you just knew it was going to be a phenomenal season. But to look at the scores and the amount of points that this offense has put up throughout the season and how well the defense has been playing, it's definitely just been extremely phenomenal.
Centurions averaging 48.6 points a game, giving up 5.4. Both those are good enough for the #1 ranking in 3A in the state of Kentucky. You look at Western Hills, their numbers about just basically flip-flop from the Centurions.
Yeah, the Centurions essentially lead in every statistical category. As you look at the comparison of these two teams, the Western Hill Wolverines are coming into this game only averaging 10.6 points a game. They are certainly only had about 121 rushing yards per game and 3.9 rushing yards per carry, and they've only managed to find the end zone 9 times on the ground so far this season.
But Draper, we're going to talk a little defense for you here right now, buddy. Only giving up 5.4 game, but a lot of that is the turnover area. 11 interceptions, 8 fumble recoveries. I'm not a math major, but that's more than 2 a game.
It is, and that's what you like to see. You know, I kid a lot, but when you think about how games are won and how seasons they unfold, you get a lot of offensive production, but also when it gets down to it, you have to stop the opponent from scoring. And so the old cliche of defense wins championships, I am a firm believer in that. You know, offense certainly wins the game. And as you talked about it, 11 interceptions and 8 fumble recoveries. And they've actually had an opportunity to score 3 pick sixes and 1 touchdown on the fumble recovery. So that just made this team certainly well balanced. And for whatever reason, if there has been a slip up on offense, which there definitely has not been many, the defense has the opportunity to get key takeaways at critical junctures in the game and really put the offense in a great field position to take advantage of it.
You look at this Western Hills team, we know it's a very, very young team. I believe there's only three seniors on this Western Hills team. We were looking for the game. Not a team down in numbers this year, only 34 players, and after seeing teams of 50, 60, 70, 80 players, it's just they don't fill up the sideline very much down there.
They certainly don't, and you just got to think, Coach Miller, this is his 17th season here with the Wolverines, and I'm pretty sure he's seen some highs and some lows, but in terms of being able to make it and really go deep into a season, you have to have a lot of depth, and right now their numbers simply just demonstrate the ability to have that increased depth that they're going to need to be successful throughout the season. But I will say, still kind of sticking with that defensive side of the information here, they have had 37 tackles for loss. They've had a couple of sacks, so they're finding ways to make things happen defensively. The key is you have to certainly score points to win those games, but they've definitely shown some signs of them continuing to battle it out defensively.
Well, they have a sophomore leading that attack for them, Garrison Graves.
Yeah, Garrison Graves, the sophomore, comes into tonight's game 48 for 117 out of 117, 557 total yards in the season, 4 TDs, 8 interceptions, and he's also had the ability to rush the ball pretty effectively with 63 carries for 4 TDs.
So we're going to take a break now as we are about to get the opening prayer of the evening. That's going to be by former senior minister at Southeast Christian Church, grandfather of 2 players on this team, one of which is a senior. It'll be Bob Russell giving opening prayer, and then senior Megan Graves will be singing our national anthem this evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and direct your attention to center field as the Indiana State Police Honor Guard presents the colors for tonight's opening ceremony. On December 22nd, 2002, the father of Cal Senior, number 15, Isaac Patrick, was killed in line of duty 6 months prior to Isaac's birth.
As we talked before, Indiana State Police with the honor guard tonight, honoring the father of Isaac Patrick on the team, who was killed in the line of duty 6 months before Isaac was born.
Badge number 1615 on her helmet in honor of Trooper Patrick. Matthew 5:9 says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God." Retired Southeast Christian Church Minister Bob Russell and grandparents, 2 Alpha football players, will offer for tonight's opening prayer. As Pastor Bob Russell prays, let us remember our police officers and their families who sacrificed for our safety, and most importantly, let's remember our Savior Jesus Christ, who made the ultimate sacrifice so that we may be forgiven and be forever with Him. Our national anthem will be presented tonight by singer Megan Graves. Please remain standing following the anthem for a special tribute by the airborne units of the Louisville Metro Police Department, the Kentucky State Police, and the Clark County, Indiana Sheriff's Department. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for law enforcement officers who are willing to put themselves into harm's way every day so the rest of us can live in relative peace and safety. Lord, we ask you to protect them every day with your strong arm. Tonight we thank you for these graduating seniors, for the many thrills and the few disappointments, but the all-important life lessons they have learned while playing athletics. Help them to cherish the memories and walk by faith into their next chapter. Lord, there's a time to work and a time to play, and we thank you for the fun we're going to have tonight, but help us to enjoy this activity by conducting ourselves in a manner pleasing to you. We thank you most of all that we can live in hope every day because of the gospel. He who knew no sin, Jesus, became sin for us on the cross, so we might become the righteousness of God and be saved for eternity. For all this we give you praise, and we pray in the strong name of Jesus our Savior. Amen.
At a time
Opening prayer by Bob Russell. National anthem by senior Megan Graves, and she did a great job. You're supposed to have a flyover here. Bob Russell did a good job too. And I believe here comes the flyover right here. Helicopters provided by the Indiana State Police, Kentucky State Police, and Clark County Sheriff's Office. We'll wait for the honor guard to get off the field. Braver, I got to tell you, that was pretty moving. You got the big American flag in the background. You got the Indiana State Police Honor Guard. You got the flyover. If you can't appreciate how grateful can we be for this country we live in, for the men and women who serve to keep us safe in the communities, and grateful for the sacrifice of our Lord Jesus Christ to bring us eternal life. I mean, gratefulness just exudes from today.
Amen, and it's certainly breathtaking. You know, I'm a high-energy guy, but, you know, just to be able to witness that, you're right. It's just a lot of emotion and just thankfulness and just gratefulness for everything you just said, Mike.
So, you know what's key tonight? We have not only Chick-fil-A, but homemade barbecue in our press box tonight.
What a treat.
It's really good.
What a treat. So, I'm going to have to start doing better. Like, I've been eating before I come up here.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to have to kind of save my appetite for these kind of surprises.
No tzatziki's before the game.
There you go.
No tzatziki's before the game. Well, let's get back to football tonight. We look at this Centurion team, and we've talked about them, but, man, they just keep getting better and getting closer to records left and right on this team.
We do. I mean, it's just a hard way to really describe, you know, what this team has just accomplished this season. A couple of words always come to mind when you think about a team and their identity. This team right now, they pretty much can do whatever they want to do at any given time. You know, if it's making a big play or establishing a run, running the ball, playing great defense, they have all of those facets of the game. But more importantly, as you think about the leadership of this team, I want to talk a little bit about Cole Hodge, the junior. 94 of 125, and he's thrown for 1,600 yards this season. And not only that, Mike, he has just demonstrated an ability to make really good decisions with the football. 26 touchdowns, only 3 INTs, and he's had to, at times, just take over with his legs and his running ability. He's had 39 carries for 323 yards and 4 touchdowns. So you talk about a dual threat quarterback. And also he's had the pleasure of having a running back like Gavin Copenhagen, the senior, whom we honor tonight, that can also carry the ball very effectively between the tackles. The seniors had 54 carries for 482 yards and 8 touchdowns so far. And he's caught the ball well out of the backfield as well. So 10 receptions for 207 yards and 5 TDs. And you can't talk about the success of this offense without talking about some of our newcomers here. Wide receiver Justin Ruffin, the junior, he's had 29 receptions for 576 yards for 9 TDs, and we know what he brings to the table also in the special teams game. Then you talk about Trey Cotton, the sophomore, 24 receptions for 487 yards, 6 TDs, and then last but not least, I'll call him the triple threat. Connor Harsh, the sophomore as well. He's had 17 catches for 227 yards and 4 TDs. So just a wealth of offense, and it's been extremely balanced throughout the first games of the season.
We talk about these people. Let's talk about not only that, but talk about their career numbers here. Cole Hodge, in his career, 56 touchdown passes, only a junior. 57 is the all-time record at Christian Academy. Next touchdown pass, he ties that. He passes it in 2. We look, and he's number 2 in the state right now. Gavin Copenhaver, we look at him. He has 25 career rushing touchdowns. He is 6 all-time at Cal, but he'll go 5th with 26 and 28 are the next 2 in front of him. He will probably break those this year. So you got some career numbers from players who have given it their all here at Cal over the years.
Yeah, and we certainly want to celebrate that tonight. I got to believe that as we look at the offensive game plan, the coaches, not to say that it's all about the record, but just to be able to demonstrate how hard these guys have worked throughout their careers, and what a better way to honor them tonight and giving them an opportunity to break some of those records. So I'm certainly excited about all of the records to come here on tonight, and with it especially being senior night.
Well, Draper, I'm going to let you talk about it now because I know you're itching to, man. You can talk about some of these defensive players now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And, again, it's been multiple contributions for every aspect of this defensive unit, but I have to say it's been led by the linebackers unit with Nate Heinrichs, the senior, 37 tackles, 11 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, and 2 fumble recoveries. We talk about the senior tonight whom we've honored, Isaac Patrick, 46 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 1 sack, and 1 INT. And followed up with this trio is McCade Batcher, another senior that's contributing heavily with 32 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, and 1 INT. And even on the back end, we've had a lot of guys contribute in terms of the INTs. Connor Hodge has had 3, Fasano was 2, Cotton has had 3 also as well, and Batcher, Package, and Copenhager have all gotten involved in the INT game. So just a lot of great talent on both sides of the ball, and they're definitely showing it in the score and the results and the momentum as we look forward to the postseason.
And I was looking tonight, and I don't even have it in my type notes here. I wrote it because I found it a little bit later. There's a senior that we don't talk about too much because he is just good in everything. He's 5th on the team in receptions. He is 7th on the team in tackles, but he leads the team in sacks. He is 3rd in the state in sacks, and that is Gunnar McKinley with 7 sacks in the year.
McKinley has certainly been a force. He certainly has delivered in this defensive philosophy for Coach Riley this year, whether it's him taking on blockers out there on the edge, getting a good pass rush up the field. He has been definitely delivering on those techniques out there at the end position, and offensively he's contributed as well.
And we got to talk about one other person. We can never forget to talk about this young man because he is having a very, very strong year, the kicker, Jackson Barrickman.
Barrickman, he is certainly a sight to see. We talk about records. 51 of 52 for extra points this season, nearly perfect, and 3 for 5 for field goals. And I have to say this every week. The thing that I am most proud is to see him carry out a fake punt, and it went for 26 yards, Mike. That's what I'm going to remember about this kid, in addition to his excellent kicking ability.
Well, I'm going to tell you, not only is that your proudest moment of it, I'm going to tell you, if you talk to him, that'll be his proudest moment. And we were talking pregame. He's a senior this year. He's going to University of Alabama. We both said his first person he needs to go see is Coach Saban, talk about kicking for that football team.
Absolutely. I know quite a few people in the football world, but I don't have any connections there at the University of Alabama. So if there's somebody out there listening, this kid will be on your campus, and he's certainly someone to watch for. And that's for tonight, for the keys to the game. Western Hills, they have to limit the turnovers, but also on the flip side, they're going to have to create turnovers. They've had 7 fumble recoveries, 37 tackles for loss, and they have to get it done tonight. And last but not least, they have to sustain drive to keep this explosive Cal offense off the field. And simply for Cal, they got to take advantage of the opportunity to get some of these young guys involved, establish the run early, and protect Cole Hodge and allow him to hit some of these big plays early in the game, Mike. I'm excited.
I can tell. Centurions are going to be receiving. Greg Meyer will be doing the kicking duties, the sophomore for Western. Hills, I'm going to be calling Western Michigan tonight. Western Hills going to be doing the kicking back for the Centurions, and up pretty far is Justin Ruffin at the 20. And we'll see if Western Hills knows the secret. Don't kick to Justin Ruffin.
Yeah, well, let's see what they do. This will be a telltale of how the game will go.
And it is going to be a pooch kick. It goes off of one Centurion. It is on the ground. Centurions are going to recover. And Gavin Copenhaver does the recovery, but it took a little tricky bounce as it came to the Centurion, went off his hands onto the ground, but Copenhaver with the recovery.
And what do you have to lose if you're Western Hills? I mean, you're coming into this game, you're getting pretty close to the end of your season, and you might as well take some risks, especially on a big night like tonight. And I'm pretty sure, Coach Miller's message has been to the team is, will this team come out and be focused with all of the excitement that's taking place here in the stadium?
So Cole Hodge brings the Centurions to the line. Copenhaver, the lone back. Tight formation for the Centurions. Copenhaver gets the ball off left tackle, and he's going to break one, and he could go all the way. One man to beat, and he's going to beat him and count it. Touchdown, first play of the game, a 64-yard touchdown run for Gavin Copenhaver. And you like those big plays on the first play of the game.
You do, and they make it look so easy, but there was a lot happening there. You had the guard and the tackle both pulling, and you had the backside blocking down, and that really just opened up the floodgates, per se, for a guy like Gavin Copenhaver, who we knows can hit it north and south, and we saw him turn the afterburners on there a little bit as well. I want to say, Mike, he was clean, meaning he didn't get touched at all on the play. Great play design on first down.
So a 64-yard drive that took 11 seconds in one play puts the Centurions up 6-0. Jackson Barrickman in for the extra point. Connor Hodge with the hold. Kick is up. Kick is good. And the Centurions at 11:46 to go in the first quarter go up 7-0 against Western Hills.
Well, certainly, if you're Coach Miller, you're telling your team, well, hey, we have to match that in order to be able to stay in this game. Not necessarily come out and score on their first play of the game, but they have to have a first successful drive. At least set some short-term goals in terms of being able to get some positive yardage against this stingy defense of the Centurions and just see what comes out of it.
For Western Hills, it looks like it's going to be Cameron Flynn and Micah Cleveland back as they set up at the 10-yard line. We have seen Jackson Barrickman put the ball into the end zone quite a number of times this year. It looks like, by looking at the big flag in the opposite quarter, it looks like the wind may be blowing against Barrickman right now. That could be our best wind indicator flag of the season.
I was just about to say that. You took the words out of my mouth. Coin toss, win prediction. The flag says it all.
So Barrickman ready to kick off as he just completed his 53rd extra point of the season, I believe. The ball is in the air, and it is going to go over the head of Cleveland into the end zone, and Western Hills will start at their own 20.
Western Hills, ball comes out to the 20-yard line, first down.
Christian Academy of Louisville wishes to thank our athletic trainer from Court and Norton Sports Health, the official sports medicine and rehabilitation providers for Christian Academy of Louisville. We'd also like to recognize Dr. Lauren Shaper and Ellis and Boneheisen Orthopedics for volunteering his time at tonight's game.
Western Hills out, Garrison Graves at the controls. Jaden Samuels in the backfield just to his left. Going to pass on the first play, out into the flat it comes. Going to be incomplete, dropped by Cameron Flynn, the freshman.
Yeah, that was a really good pass there, by Garrison Graves, right into the flat. Just kind of loosened up on the defense and just was not able to haul it in.
I think Garrison Graves maybe saw some tape. He's going to get rid of that ball quick tonight to avoid the pass rush.
Yeah, that's the smart young man. I mean, you got to get it out of there quick. You're going to have to, potentially go through your reads because there's such great coverage on the backside. You look at this front here, the Centurions, they're bringing lots of pressure and disguising the outside linebackers.
Graves back to pass again, nowhere to go. Now he's going to launch one. He's got a man open and going to be over the head of Flynn. Coming in on the late coverage is Trey Cotton, but Flynn got behind the Centurion defense. Man, for a sophomore, we just saw Graves quite an arm.
Yeah, and it was pretty unique in terms of his release, Mike. You see that long bomb, and typically you see the arm of the quarterback go forward. His was more like a pop-up throwing baseball, and it just certainly just slightly past the arm length of the receiver there. But he had time, and he released the ball.
3rd and 10 for the Wolverines. They have 2 receivers left and 2 to the right. Oh, now they got trips to the left. 5 receivers going out. Graves, quick drop. Here comes pressure, and he's going to go to the ground. With the sack for the Centurions, the man who is back tonight, and good to have him back, junior Nathan Carlisle.
Yeah, and what happens there, you got great pressure right there up the middle of the field by Coach Riley and the defense. You want to put pressure on the quarterback, like Graves. You look at his statistics, he's had 8 interceptions thrown, and I got to believe a lot of those interceptions are attributed to defenses putting a lot of pressure on him and causing him to kind of rethink some of the schemes there and passes against this electrifying defense here tonight.
Will Wynn into punt. He is set up actually in the end zone about 2 yards deep. Good snap, gets the ball off, and I believe Ruffin's going to be able to take this. He takes it at the 39-yard line, cuts back to the middle, and I believe he's going to run his 3rd punt return back of the season, and that he does. A 39-yard punt return for Justin Ruffin. 2
plays, 2 scores. I mean, that's certainly the way you draw it up here. And you would also think, a lot of people would think, well, hey, if you got them pinned that deep in their own end zone, why not go for the block? But I got to think that Coach Cantwell is in the mindset of, hey, let's get the ball back offensively, see if we can run some plays and execute. But again, Justin Ruffin, just a nice return there and great blocking there up front as well as he bobbed and weaved and found his way to the end zone.
That is his 2nd punt return of the year. He has 1 kickoff return as well for a touchdown. Extra point by Barrickman is up, and it is good. And 10:40 to go first quarter. Centurions just like that, up 14-0.
Norton Sports Health offers the area's most comprehensive sports health program, from concussion management to orthopedics to mental performance. To learn more about how Norton Sports Health can help you play harder for longer, visit nortonsportshealth.com.
Well, we are 10:40 to go first quarter. Centurions have touched the ball twice. A 64-yard touchdown run by Gavin Copenhaver on the first play from scrimmage. Justin Ruffin, a 39-yard punt return. Back for the Wolverines, Cameron Flynn and Micah Cleveland. Once again, Barrickman's last kickoff went into the end zone.
And they're definitely well positioned. I mean, when you talk about, them watching the tape, they know he has a leg, so they're positioned well. So let's just see how they protect, see if the Cal team can get down and make a play here.
Another beautiful night for football at Christian Academy. Great crowd tonight for the Centurions, and this kick is up, and it's going to go into the end zone, and Western Hills will start at their own 20 once again.
And if you're Western Hills, I mean, you think about 2 plays for 2 scores. Right now, what you're telling quarterback Garrison Graves, I think the first drive, primarily they were trying to pass the ball, loosen up the defense, and you got to think they're going to try to establish the run here, at least on this 2nd series, and see what they can get. But again, with watching the tape, you know that we have a stout front 7 there in the box, and it's definitely challenging to run against this team, but you certainly have to try it.
Jaden Samuels in the backfield. And he's going to get the ball, cut up the middle, and he's going to get a few yards. It looked like a face mask, and here comes the flag. Got a 5-yard gain on that. You're going to tack on the face mask, and that's going to be a first down for Western Hills.
And it's interesting that the back judge called the face mask there. So certainly could see it from up here, and as you stated, tack on 15 more yards.
So that'll be a first down for Western Hills, their first of the night. Not one of those penalties you want to see against the Centurions, but it is Western Hills ball all the way out the 40 now, making a 20-yard gain on the run and the penalty. Samuels to the right of Graves this time. 1 receiver right, 3 to the left. In motion goes Flynn, and he's going to get the ball in the handoff. He's going to be hit in the backfield and brought down for about a 4-yard loss, and we have another penalty flag on the ground. Gunnar McKinley on the tackle.
They tried to really get the linebackers mixed up a little bit by sending the guy in motion. Actually, the quarterback, Garrison Graves, actually carried out a really nice fake there, but certainly not enough to fool the Centurions defense, and that was certainly no gain there on the play. But as you say, we still see more laundry there on the field for the second consecutive play of this drive.
And it is another face mask against the Centurions.
Wow, I don't know if I've ever seen 2 consecutive face masks call in a game. I mean, I know we have an aggressive bunch, and you know they've been coached well. You know, the hit right there in the numbers and bring the guys down, but there's certainly 2 consecutive odd plays.
I thought they called face mask, but the ball ends up being a 3-yard gain. I didn't think it was. I thought it was less of a loss than that, but it'll be 1st and 7 for the Wolverines. Samuels goes in motion out to the right. Graves back to pass, fires a pass way over the head of everybody. Intended target out there was Micah Cleveland.
We had the single back there go into what I call a orbit motion. I think that was Shaden Samuels, the freshman there, and try to get those linebackers looking out in the open field. And just seems like a big miscommunication there between the quarterback and the receiver.
Seeing a couple seniors in the game already who usually do not see action this early. Andy Russell in at the cornerback position for the Centurions. Graves hands off to Samuel. He trips and falls in the backfield. So it will be a little bit of a loss, maybe a 1-yard loss. And it's going to be 3rd and 9 for the Wolverines.
And if you're the Wolverines, you got to be pleased that you're able to at least keep the clock running. You know, one of the keys, as I talked about, to even having a chance tonight is you have to be able to sustain drives, and you have to be able to keep the offense off the field.
Trips to the left, 1 receiver to the right for the Wolverines. Graves gets the snap, play action. Here comes pressure, and he's got to get rid of it quickly. He had to get rid of it too quickly. Throws an incomplete pass going for Josh Scott, and that'll bring up a 4th down punting situation.
And we've talked about, you know, how quarterback Garrison Graves has found a way to release the ball pretty quickly here early in the game. So in order to really evade this pressure and keep from taking those hits consistently, you have got to be able to release the ball. And also what that pressure does is causes you to throw it when you don't necessarily want to. And then for a quarterback, you got to get your foot planted, make a good throw, and just a great play design by Cal defense.
Will win in the punt. Justin Ruffin set for the return. He ran the last one back, a 1 hopper to win. No rush. Gets a nice kick away over the head of Ruffin. He's going to let it hit. It takes a Centurion bounce, comes back up, and good punt by Will Wynn. That's another way, just hit it over Ruffin's head so he can't get to it.
That's it. And even with a muffled snap there, they still were able to find a way to be able to get that taken care of. Making healthy eating choices is easy with Tzatziki's Mediterranean Cafe. All recipes at Tzatziki's are made fresh daily and inspired by Mediterranean cuisine. Their menu features grilled meats, original sauces, and healthy sides, as well as vegetarian and gluten-free options. Join Tzatziki's for lunch or dinner any time of the day or the week. Visit Tzatziki's restaurant in Middletown and St. Matthews. To learn more about Tzatziki's, visit Tzatzikis.com.
Jalen McRoberts in at the running back position. He goes in motion. Keeping the ball is Hodge this time. He's going to run up the middle. He's got some room and is taken off at the 50, 40. This is a foot race, 30, 20. It's going to be a touchdown run for Cole Hodge. Make it a 75-yard run for Cole Hodge with some speed we have not seen all year.
Yeah, and it's been a while. You know, he hasn't run the ball quite that much over the last couple of games, but to see him strike out there and just show a different dimension of his game. I mean, we've seen him run the ball, but for the most part, you know, he's gotten maybe 10 or less yards, but now he's gotten out there in the open field, made some things happen, and saw that burst.
That was a 13-second drive that covered 75 yards. Centurions have run 2 plays and a punt return in this game, all for touchdowns. 8:58 to go in the first quarter. Extra point by Berringman will make it 21-0. Ball is down, kick is up, and in fact, the score goes to 21-0 with 8:58 to go in the first quarter.
Well, I have to say a lot of this scoring is certainly making me hungry, Mike. and we've had an opportunity the last couple of weeks to talk about this Cal softball pancake breakfast. We're getting that much closer. So the softball team will be hosting its annual all-you-can-eat pancake breakfast on Saturday, November 12th from 8:30 to 11 a.m. in the Cal cafeteria. Tickets are $7, and you can purchase tickets from any softball player or contact Coach Mullen. All proceeds benefit Cal softball.
You know, Draper of softball really want to get marketing. They would have made us some pancakes and bacon and brought it up here for the broadcast tonight, you know. We're going to have to talk to Coach Mullen about that next year, you know, give us some samples.
That's right. We've done well for Tzatziki's. We've talked about them, and we actually have people going. So, Coach Mullen, if you can get us an early taste of those pancakes with little sides there of bacon, we'll be in good shape. We'll keep them coming.
I'm going to tell you, that is a fun morning, having a softball player serve you, get to know the softball team. Great fundraiser for Kyle Mullen, Coach Mullen and that team, and just implore everybody to come out if you can come out to that event. So we are ready for another Jackson Barrickman kickoff here. Oh, we have no, it is not Jackson Barrickman. Our crack press box staff is telling me senior Asa Yos with the kickoff, and it is a much shorter one than we've seen from Barrickman, but it's going to take a nice hop. Going to be fielded by Samuel. He tries to make a couple of moves, but he's going to be brought down. He is gang tackled by about 6 Centurions. At the bottom of that pile, looked like it was Isaac Patrick. And Western Hills will take over with 8:51 to go here in the first quarter. Down by 21 to the Centurions. It'll be their ball at the 25-yard line.
Well, at this juncture of the game, I mean, as you talked about it, we've had 2 offensive plays and 1 punt return for a touchdown. It's only fit that this defense finds a way to get the ball in the end zone as well.
Well, let's see what they can do. Graves back in at the quarterback spot, has Samuels to his right. 1 first down on the evening for Western Hills via the penalty. Graves back to pass again, going right. He lets it fly, and it's going to be out of bounds. Going over there for Micah Cleveland, the freshman. Led him a little too far. Incomplete pass.
I have to give the Western Hills offensive lineman credit. I mean, they are giving the quarterback time. He's just unable to connect really on those throws. And so not often this season have I actually seen offensive line be able to hold this defensive line, you know, anywhere near to allow the opposing quarterback to get pass off. So kudos to those offensive linemen. 1st and 10
for the Wolverines. Graves back to pass. Here comes, and just as you say that, here comes pressure. Ball is loose, and I think the Centurions have recovered. Gunnar McKinley on the sack. Let's see who the ball goes to. Gavin Copenhaver had the ball. The question is it a fumble or not? McKinley knocked it free as he had the sack. And it is Centurion ball. Fumble recovery recovered by Copenhaver.
Well, I think they heard me from the booth.
I think so,
I absolutely
man.
told them it's time for them to step it up a notch and create some turnovers. So next I'm going to challenge them with something else, but at least we were able to, you know, get a key takeaway there early in this first quarter.
So Gunnar McKinley forces the turnover. Centurions recover. They're going to be starting at the 24-yard line on the western side with 8:37 to go here in the first quarter.
And what I like to see, too, even the fact that we're up 21-0, and I see quarterback Cole Hodge still encouraging his teammates to go out and let's compete in a way that's satisfactory to our standards and not pay any attention to the score.
Copenhaver back in at the running back spot. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Hodge back to pass, looking right. Fires out. He's got McKinley. McKinley, a great move, fumbles the ball, but recovers his own fumble at the 2-yard line. He made a move, and it didn't even look like he got hit. It looked like he just fumbled the ball about the 5, but then fell on it at the 2-yard line.
Well, we're literally 2 yards away from 3 offensive plays going for a score there, Mike. Unbelievable.
Second play of this series, the most plays in a series so far for the Centurions. Ball at the 2-yard line, 1st and goal. We've seen Copenhaver with the score. We've seen Cole Hodge. We've seen Justin Ruffin. Hodge in the shotgun. Hands it off, and going in for an easy touchdown on the 2-yard run is going to be Andy Russell, the senior, and he gets mobbed in the end zone. First touchdown of his career here at Christian Academy, and the cornerback turn running back from the slot goes in motion and gets the 2-yard run touchdown.
And that's what's so special about senior night. You know, he got in the end zone for the first time in his career, and this will be a memory of a lifetime for that young man. So happy to see him get in the end zone, and more important, just to see how his teammates celebrated with him after he scored.
Let's see who's doing the extra point. I'm not sure if they're switching up on me tonight on this or not on the extra point. Kick is up and good. It is Berrickman again. It is good again. And the Centurions, 7:53 to go. It is 28-0. 7:53 in the first quarter, that is.
E-News is Cal's online newsletter that allows fans, parents, and supporters of the Cal Athletics to keep up with the latest news in Cal sports. E-News is distributed weekly and includes sports from elementary, middle, and high school from all of Cal's Kentucky campuses. To subscribe, email enews@chschools.us.
That was a 2-play drive that took 44 seconds, covered 24 yards. Andy Russell, his first rushing touchdown of his career here at Christian Academy at the varsity level, gets the 2-yard run and gives Centurions their 4th TD of the night. Jackson Berrickman back in to do the kicking duties this time after a kickoff by Yost last time. Tell you, you get a big league like this too. Coach Cantwell able to do a lot of things with some of the seniors who don't see a ton of action.
Yeah, and that's just sort of the beauty of it. If everyone takes care of their business, you get everybody involved in the game, and it makes for a special night.
You may see every senior get a touchdown run tonight.
There you go.
Or at least the try. A deep kickoff. This one's going in the end zone. Western Hills will take over at their own 20 once again. So, Draper, if you're the other team and you're down 28-0 and show no semblance you can even play in this game, what do you say as a coach? What do you do to the team?
Yeah, you just got to find the little things to keep them going. And if I'm the opposing coach, the message to me now is – the message to the team is let's just take this one down at a time. Let's not focus on the score. I know we're down a bunch, but just one play at a time is all we have to continue building off of it. We can't score 28 points, obviously, with one big play. It's going to take several big plays and the effort in all phases of the game to really close this lead. So that's the message. One play when we can find a way that can make something positive happen.
In motion goes Flynn, and there's going to be a flag down. I believe illegal motion on false start on Western Hills. That'll move the ball back 5.
And that's certainly not the message. You know, we talked about sort of the keys to the game. You have to limit the turnovers, and you're down 28-0 at this point. You can't afford to have any penalties here. So just try to get something positive here on 1st and 15 to just kind of carry you through this drive.
1st and 15 for the Wolverines. Graves gets the snap, back to pass, throws it out in the flat, and that almost was a pick 6 for Connor Hodge. He read it perfectly, going for Flynn, but knocked it down but couldn't get the interception.
Yeah. Receiver Cameron Flynn, number 4 there for Western Hills, supposed to be running a curl route, but the ball just kind of floated there with the quarterback, Garrison Graves, and it floated a little bit too long, and just a great read there by Connor Hodge, who almost had a INT.
2nd and 15. Back to pass again is Graves, and he's going to get sacked from behind. It looks like Gunnar McKinley again, I believe it is Gunnar McKinley. We talked about 3rd in the state in sacks, and he adds to that total.
Yeah, and one of the things, you know, especially when you're breaking down film, is the tendencies of the quarterback. And what I'm starting to see, you know, without having even seen any of the film, is that quarterback Garrison Graves, I mean, he identifies his receiver who he's throwing the ball to upon the snap of the ball. His head is actually turned right to the receiver, and he seems to be favoring throwing more balls to the left than he does any other place on the field here early in the ball game tonight. So pretty predictable. He's got plenty of time. His offensive line is helping him, but he's got to find a way to connect with his receivers.
This time he has trips to the right side And back to pass. Here comes pressure, trying to roll away. Lets it fly. Almost intercepted through the hands of Justin Ruffin. I think he started to run with it before he caught it. He goes down, does some push-ups, I think, to punish himself for missing the ball. How much? He did about 14 push-ups there in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, he had to double them up. I mean, you have to do push-ups, Mike, for missing the INT, and also push-ups for not scoring because there was no one else right there in front of you. So good self-discipline here, but I got to believe with electrifying as he is, he may make up for it here on this punt return.
Will win in the end zone once again to punt. Ruffin sets up the 40. Last time it was a 39-yard punt return for a touchdown. Ruffin's going to field this one at the 39 once again. Makes a couple of moves, tries to get outside, and we're going to have a penalty. Big number 57, Cameron Davis, runs him out of bounds. He gets down to about the 25 before a flag came out.
And there was actually a flag thrown real early, too, right as he was receiving the punt. So there's 2 flags, and we'll let the referee sort it out.
Officials are conferring with the Western Hills coach, Don Miller, in his 17th season at Western Hills, 67 and 116 his record. Of course, Coach Cantwell, 4th year here, 33 and 10 and undefeated this year. So now the coach is coming, or the official coming over to speak with Coach Cantwell. And Centurions are moving back. Two fouls on the play. We just saw one, which is illegal block in the back, and the other one is a face mask, and they are offsetting penalties. So it'll be Centurion ball. It'll be at the 30-yard line.
Follow Cal Athletics on Twitter for Centurion Athletic news and game updates. Cal Athletics at Centurion AD.
Well, they said they were offsetting fouls, and the ball gets moved back to the 40. So I'm not sure what offsetting fouls means, but obviously it doesn't mean what I think it means.
Well, they're offsetting, and then I guess secondarily they're spot fouls.
Well, spot fouls, so it's Centurion ball at the 40.
That's it. That's all we know for sure.
Offsetting and off-putting.
Yes. I'm trying to see who is in the, I think that's McRoberts in the backfield. Here comes the pressure against Hodge. He gets it off to McRoberts. McRoberts, a nice move, then fumbles. Ball is on the ground, and Western Hills is going to recover. Samuels recovers. That ball must be slippery tonight. We're seeing some fumbles tonight.
Yeah, we have seen quite a few, and certainly a nice screen pass there by Cole Hodge. And I see him there talking to McRoberts like, hey, let's definitely protect the football and just keep the chains moving. So a great play design, and unfortunately we came on the opposite end of it with the ball hitting the ground and Western Hills on the recovery.
So Western Hills will take over at the 35-yard line. 6:37 to go first quarter. Mike Botello, Draper Hall with the action for you this evening. And Garrison Graves at the quarterback spot. He's going to hand off to Cleveland as he goes in motion. And he's going to be met just behind the line. McCade Batcher there. Along with him was Alex Ulam. And no gain on that play.
The linebackers are just so disciplined. Pretty much the few times that they've ran this motion in the backfield, it has certainly carried them to the football, and they've just managed to read it. We got great man coverage here on the weak side of the ball, and just great play execution there by the defense and really just sniffing out these plays as they're being executed by this Western Hills offense.
It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Wolverines. In motion. A handoff to Samuels, and he's going to go down. In motion was Flynn, but the handoff went to Samuels, and he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage before he is brought down.
And if you're Western Hills, you asked the question a little while ago, Mike, about what are you saying to your team? You have an opportunity, against a quality opponent like Cal, and you get a turnover there, you have to be able to take advantage of it. And right now, they're certainly not taking advantage of it here with 3rd and 9. And they've had some success passing the ball out in the flats, but they've done it to the short side of the field. So I'm almost thinking of an opportunity for them. Maybe try the wide side of the field and just test that side, especially with the quarterback for Western Hills, being able to get a little bit of protection there up front based on Cal's defensive front.
It was a 1-yard gain, make it 3rd and 9. Graves back to pass, looking left. Here comes pressure. Gunnar McKinley brings him down again, but he got the pass away, and a flag goes down. And if that is roughing the passer, that is going to be an absolutely terrible call.
I think they may have got him on it, but certainly it looked like it was simultaneously in terms of him being able to make the play. So we'll see what the call is.
Unless it's intentional grounding, because the ball did not make it back to the line of scrimmage.
I think that's what it is.
He was not outside the tackle box. I thought it was going to be roughing the passer at first.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, intentional grounding.
And in fact it is. Ball did not make it back to the line of scrimmage. And that is a loss of down. Centurions decline it anyway. I thought that was a loss of down. I'm not sure why you would decline it, but in fact they do. And so we'll win back into punt again. I think we got a different receiver this time, but I can't see the number because they're sideways to me. It is a high punt. They're going to let go. They'll take a great bounce for the Wolverines. Nate Heidenreich was the guy back trying to return the punt, and the ball rolls all the way down to the 18-yard line. So Centurions will have their 6th possession of the evening. They have scored 5 times. First and 10 for the Centurions. McRoberts in the backfield. Cole Hodge back to pass. Lots of time. Lets it fly. He's got Gunnar McKinley all the way to the 40-yard line. Make it a 22-yard pass play to the tight end.
And really a nice release there by quarterback Cole Hodge. The offensive line gave him great protection up front. He had a little bit of man coverage there, especially with the twins to his right, and just found a way to find the tight end there on a nice route and a great completion there for a pickup of first down.
Ball marked at the 43, make it a 25-yard completion. Trips to the right, one receiver left for the Centurions. Jalen McRoberts in the backfield. Hodge back to pass again. Plenty of time. He's going long. He's got a man. It is Trey Cotton. What a catch by Cotton. It was a great catch and able to hang on to it. Goes down at the 19-yard line. First down, Centurions.
And that play right there just speaks volume there to the confidence and just the relationship there between quarterback and wide receiver. I mean, it was beautifully timed, a great route there on the go route, and just a nice catch and completion there.
37-yard pass play on that one. First and 10 at the 20 for the Centurions. Hodge goes under center this time. Hand off to McRoberts. He goes off right tackle. He's got a hole. He's going all the way. Jalen McRoberts with a 20-yard touchdown run, and the Centurions score again. And Draper, what I like about that is the young man fumbled his last time, but they stuck with him, and he gets a touchdown.
Yeah, and that's what you like, and that's what great coaches do. They continue to build the confidence up of these kids. I mean, anybody that's ever laced up their cleats here has made some mistakes, and for your coach to come back and give you the ball again and let you know, hey, we still got the utmost confidence in you, is just be to commended here. So congratulations there to McRoberts, and as you mentioned, Mike, great scoring all around from our seniors tonight.
Berkman in for the kick. It is up, and it is good once again. 3:55 to go first quarter. Centurions up 35-0.
For Cal Sports, game scores, and schedules, visit our website, www.chschools.us /English-station/Centurion.
Jalen McRoberts, his second touchdown run of the year. It was a 3-play drive that lasted 1 minute 40 seconds, covered 82 yards, ending with that 20-yard run by Jalen McRoberts. And, man, kudos this offensive line for giving Hodge time to throw the ball, and then huge holes for this running game.
They have done a fantastic job. I mean, they're coached by one of the best in the business. So I'm not surprised on their delivery. You know, Coach Hilliard has those guys ready. I mean, really diving into some of the tape, what you see. I mean, their positioning with their helmets, their hands, their footwork, all of it is to perfection when it comes to making sure they're executing a great block, and that's the result of being able to give your quarterback enough time to deliver the ball.
Xavier Reed back with Cameron Flynn this time. Kick is up, and it doesn't matter who's back because it's going into the end zone once again, and Western Hills will get it at their own 20 with 3:55 to go in the first quarter.
The Centurion Armory is Cal's retail store with full line of clothing, accessories, and merchandise for every Centurion fan. The Armory is open Tuesday through Friday, 2:30 to 4 p.m., and open to 7 p.m. for all home varsity games.
First and 10 for the Wolverines. Samuels to the left to Graves. Graves looks over to get the call. He's got 2 receivers right, 2 to the left. Ball goes on the ground. Graves wasn't ready for it. Instead of just falling on it, the Wolverines were trying to pick it up, but finally I believe Samuels fell on it. Graves recovered it as a bad snap went right through his legs. I don't think he was ready for it. Make it an 11-yard loss. It'll be 2nd and 21.
Well, you certainly don't want those type of things to happen, especially with it just still being the first quarter here and you're down 35-0. So they have to clean up the little things, and that's another thing if I would be telling them if I'm the coach.
Riley Wentz in the defensive backfield this time. Good to see him back. Samuels gets it, tries to get outside, but he is going to be brought down. Gavin Copenhaver on the tackle. Braden Robinson changed the young man's direction right into the arms of Copenhaver.
And I can't say that I've seen that sort of reaction in a while from a running back. I mean, that defensive line and linebackers were there so fast, and he tried to revert, do an about face. There's still time to do an about face against a high-powered, fast defensive line there. You just got to take what they're going to give you and get down by all things. So those are the things that I'm telling them when they come back to the sideline if I'm Coach Miller.
3rd and 25 for the Wolverines. Here comes some pressure. Heidenreich ready to bring it off the end. They give it off to Samuels. He's going to get absolutely nowhere. I believe it was Copenhaver on the tackle. In with him on the tackle, Nathan Ehrenborg. And so another punting situation for Western Hills.
And it looks like Graves was just trying to get rid of the ball. And basically what happens in that formation, the quarterback's reading the end there. We were bringing pressure and just not the right decision to give the ball to the running back. You see the result, no gain.
Will win on the very edge of the end zone. It is a line drive punt, a one-hopper. Heidenreich's going to take it over his head at the 46-yard line. Cuts inside, now goes outside. He's got a little bit of room. He goes to the sideline, and he almost able to get around the last tackle, but the punter finally knocked him out of bounds right around the 12-yard line.
And even with him doing that, I guarantee you his teammates are going to rag on him a little bit, Mike, about allowing the punter to force you out of bounds and prevent you from getting sick. So let's talk a little bit about this Cal volleyball team. This year they're 21-7. They took the 28th district title Wednesday night, shutting out Ballard 3-0. And the Lady Centurions will compete in the first round of the regional tournament on Monday night at 6 p.m. at Cal versus Seneca. Come out and support Cal volleyball.
A good time on Monday night. Come out, support that volleyball team as they try to advance in region play. Cole Hodge back in at quarterback. He has 3 receivers to the left. Malachi Ember started to set up about 2 yards in front of the line of scrimmage. Finally comes back. Hodge looking. He finds Heidenreich. Heidenreich starts left, now cuts back. Jitterbugs gets in for, no, they're going to say he's down at the 1. Every Centurion has their arms up like a touchdown, but the man that counts says nope. He is down at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, and they're definitely calling Heinreich's number tonight. He had an opportunity there on the punt return a couple of times, and just a nice pass there by Cole Hodge, and great yardage after the catch as well.
It is 1st and goal from the 1. We may see Heidenreich running back here.
You never know. You know, there's a lot of options here as you think about the goal line. What other senior can we get involved in the scoring column? And looks like we just spread him out. Just maybe a QB draw here.
Yep, Heidenreich goes in motion just like Andy Russell did. He gets the ball, tries to get outside, and that he does. It's the Andy Russell play.
That's right.
1-yard run for Heidenreich, touchdown Centurions.
Well, I got to be reading into the game plan for Coach Cantwell. It's like if you don't succeed, brush yourself off and try again. It's going back and forth to whoever had the ball last. We're going to find a way to get you into the end zone.
And with that score, not only do you go up 41-0, you also bring the running clock into play. And in to kick for the Centurions extra point, Asa Yos. So the senior had a kick the other night. Lines the goalpost up, looking for his first extra point of the season. See if the senior can get on the board this way. Kick is up right down the middle. Asa Yost gets on the scoreboard with the extra point.
Well, we're finding a way to get it done in every phase of the game here tonight, Mike. You know, lots of players, as I mentioned before. Let's take advantage of the opportunity to get them some real in-time game experience. And I would definitely say that is being accomplished here early in the ball game, 42-0 here in the first quarter.
A 2-play drive that covered 12 yards, took 49 seconds. It was a 1-yard run by Nate Heidenreich, extra point by Asa Yos. And Centurions, as the first quarter comes to the end, are up 42-0.
The Cal field hockey team is currently ranked 14th in the nation and 4th in the region. The Lady Centurions captured the regional title on Wednesday night, defeating Sacred Heart 3-1. Last night, they shut out Butler 13-0 in the KHSAA state quarterfinal, and they will compete tomorrow in the state semifinal at 5 p.m. versus Assumption here at Cal. Come out and cheer them on to the KHSAA state field hockey final.
So Jackson Barrickman in to kick off. Back is Flynn. He is the only, Flynn is back, and it looks like Cleveland is sneaking back. Flynn on the far side, now Cleveland comes back. They'll both set up about the 10 as Barrickman kicks to the opposite end of the field to start this quarter. And it is a line drive, one bouncer right over the head of Cleveland into the end zone. And Western Hills will start once again on the 20.
Well, at least they have some decent field position here. And again, you just gotta cut out the middle mistakes. I mean, we've had low snaps. You know, we've had not good routes, and quarterback not being able to make some good decisions. So again, as I'm walking you through the mindset of the opposing coach down this big here in the first quarter, you're just trying to build off that, right? Limit our mistakes. Let's just run through some of the things that we've practiced. And at this point, you absolutely can't worry about the score.
Garrison Graves still in at quarterback. Samuels is his running back. In motion goes Flynn. Hand off to Samuels, tries to get outside, but there is no going of that. Bringing him down is Chapman Russell, the freshman who's in the game.
Just great discipline there by the defense. Again, the motion is taking you directly to where the football is going. I have to be sure that the Coach Riley and team have seen that on film, and our linebackers have been extremely disciplined and been able to sniff that out for no gain.
2nd and 14. We got some subs starting to come into the game. Chapman Russell was one of them. We'll try to get you some other names here as we go. Hand off to Samuels again, cuts back. He's going to be brought down in on the tackle. Connor Franklin along with John Cobaugh.
Yeah, Jaden Samuels, the freshman, I mean, he's going to look back at this film and just know he's going up against some of the very best here looking at this Cal defense. And seems like right now the game plan is simply just to eat some time here on the clock. Just stick with the run and just see if they can get some tough running yards here in the game.
Abel Deeb in the game. Jeffrey Van Zanna in the game for the Centurions as well. Graves back to pass, throws it out in the flat to Samuels, looking for some room, but there is no room there. Van Zanna on the tackle. Joining him on the tackle was John Cobaugh. Once again, it brings up another 4th down.
Yeah, and Samuel has certainly been given the buckload of the offensive carries here. He's receiving the ball as well, and right now it's just pretty much been his show on this drive, and it looks like he's coming out of the game now here on 4th down as they prepare to punt.
Win into punt. I'm not sure who that is back for the Centurions. But he sets up. Oh, it is number 11. That's Bryce Wilson, the sophomore. And we got a timeout. I'm not sure who called the timeout, but a timeout we have with 8:53 to go in the 2nd quarter. Timeout by the Centurions.
Yeah, it looks like they had some confusion there on personnel, trying to get some young guys in the game, and you kind of know how that goes at times, substitution patterns, getting them in and out, and we just wanted to make sure that we had the right personnel in the game to set us up for success here in the punt return. And it looks like, too, we have Bryce Wilson, the sophomore, back there returning. So our 3rd punt return man here tonight in the game.
A couple guys who've missed a lot this season back tonight. Nathan Carlisle, Riley Wentz. If this is the first time I talked to Coach Cantwell before a game, there's nobody out injured tonight.
That's certainly a good sign. And as you think about making this long run here deep into the playoffs, it's great to have guys healthy. It's great to have more guys there in practice to give you good looks, and it really is just a huge benefit as you prepare for the postseason.
Win to punt, Wilson back. One hopper to win, able to get it, gets it off. Short punt, hits about the 45. Everybody runs away. Ball rolls down to the Centurion 43-yard line. That's where the Centurions will start this drive.
And it'd be interesting to see, too, if we're going to start to substitute at the quarterback position as we're thinking that we're up 42-0. Don't want to have to risk anything, but, hey, looks like Cole Hodge is coming back into the game, and there may be some more things that Coach Cantwell wants to take a look at here for later on down the line.
I got the feeling it's kind of hard to take Cole Hodge out of a game. He's going to fight you tooth and nail to stay in that game.
Yeah, I've been around him a lot, and you're right. He wants to be in. He's all in. I mean, he lives for Friday nights and just really appreciates the game. So I certainly can empathize with that as a coach when you have a leader that pushes you to stay in the game.
Trips to the right, 2 receivers to the left, empty backfield. Hodge looking right. He's going to fire it out there. He's got Connor Hodge on the run. It is going to be another 6 for the Centurions. Make it a 53-yard touchdown pass, Hodge to Hodge. And what a pass by Cole Hodge.
Yeah, a nice pass. I mean, he stood right there in the pocket. He went through his progressions, but I got to believe that when they dialed that play up, he wanted to make something memorable and special here tonight, going a Hodge to Hodge connection, and it was certainly a thing of beauty.
A one-play drive again. A 47-yard touchdown pass. Or a 57, excuse me. Who's in for this extra point?
Looks like we got Barrickman.
Barrickman is back in. Connor Hodge to hold. Kick is up. Kick is good. We have 6:51 to go, 49-0 Centurions.
The Cal Cross Country team will be competing in the Kentucky 2A Region 3 meet tomorrow at Creasy Mahon Nature Preserve. Good luck to all of our runners.
A minute 44 on that one-play drive, 57-yard touchdown pass from Hodge to Hodge. That is Cole Hodge to Connor Hodge. That is Cole's. Is that his second touchdown pass in this game? We got so many touchdowns, I don't know what's what anymore. Is that his first? He ran one. Copenhagen ran one. Andy Russell ran one. McRoberts Heinrich ran one. They've been all running touchdowns. First of the night with that touchdown pass, Cole Hodge ties the career record of 57 touchdown passes at Christian Academy. Connor Hodge brings in his 5th touchdown reception of the season. And Barrickman in, nope, it is, was that Yos again kicking off? Nope, we had another kicker. It goes to about the 14-yard line. Cleveland had it. I believe it was Jason Coleman who, the sophomore, kicked that one off. And it'll be Western Hills ball. They're going to mark it at the 19, I believe.
We got quite a few young guys here defensively, so great opportunity for them to come in and make some plays. And I think we've seen about everything tonight. We've scored on a punt return. We scored offensively, passing and running. We've gotten a takeaway, for on defense, but we've yet to score. So let's see if this bunch can turn it up and create some confusion there on the offense and get an opportunity to get the ball in the end zone defensively.
Riley Wentz, Reed Jeffries in the game. Going to be a handoff to Samuels. He goes up the middle. He's going to pick up 3 or 4 before he's brought down. I believe that was Connor Franklin on the tackle.
A nice shot there by Connor Franklin, because I've been talking about the motion taking you to the ball. And they actually did a counter there. They took the motion there to the short side of the field, and they came back with a counter to the wide side. So mixing it up a little bit here. Again, just trying to be creative, sticking into their offensive formations. But, again, this Cal defense is just too stout and very disciplined to not be able to take advantage of that.
Back to pass is Graves. Going to be out to Samuels, and Samuels going to be brought down quickly on the side. John Coball, I believe, with that. Good coverage. It'll bring up a 3rd down.
And it's going to be some great learning lessons, too, for the freshman Jaden Samuels. We've heard his name called a lot tonight, and he certainly answered the bell, whether that's running north and south, whether that's, stiff arm and trying to take on tackles, evading defenders and also catching the ball out of the backfield. So he's certainly going to have some great learning experiences as he looks forward to next season.
Malachi Embers in the game on defense as well for the Centurions right now. Van Zandt sneaks up to the line. Back to pass. Pass comes out to the side. Going to be a completed pass for a 1st down to Xavion Reed. And that'll be the first down that was not via a penalty tonight for the Wolverines. 1st and 10.
And Graves actually threw where he saw the pressure from Vizana, and just a great disguise. He made it look like he was coming there off the edge. He stood in isolation there on the route and just thrown literally right above his head for a completion there for Western Hills.
1st and 10, ball at the 32-yard line for the Wolverines. Graves hands off to Samuels again, off left tackle. He is met and he is brought down. Good job by Jacob Settle, the freshman, with his first tackle of the evening.
And Samuel, again, we talked about his workload here in the first half, but he's also doing a very good job of protecting the football, because once you're gang tackled there, sometimes that ball can just kind of squeeze out there. And for the most part, he's done a really good job of protecting that football and also keeping his legs moving upon contact.
Make it a 1-yard gain, 2nd and 9 for Western Hills. We have 1:48 and running to go here in the first half. Graves going to keep it this time, and he may be sorry he did. He is squashed between Malachi Embers and Gavin Copenhaver.
And
Was that Copenhaver? That wasn't Copenhaver. He's not in the game. That was Chapman Russell.
yeah, Chapman Russell, great tackle there. And it just seems like this Western Hills offense has tried everything. So why not allow the quarterback to keep the ball and just see if he can keep the chains moving? But again, just so disciplined. And I like what I'm seeing here defensively as well. Every play, a younger new Cal defenders coming into the game, and they're doing a lot of mixing and matching.
1-yard loss, 3rd and 10. Graves taking his time to get the snap. In motion goes Reed. Reed's going to get the handoff. Tries to get around the left end, but there is not much room over there. Van Zanna there to move him back in and grabbing him from behind. John Coball, we've been calling his name a lot.
We have. And for Xavion Reed, I mean, there's not a whole lot of dancing you can do because, our linebackers are right there in our lanes. Our tackles are getting pressure upfield, and you just got to get north and south against this Centurion defense here to be able to have anything go your way. And Western Hills just has not been able to find the ability to be able to do that.
And Western Hills going to let the clock run out, and that's going to bring us to the completion of the first half of play. Centurions a dominating first half. They are up 49-0. We'll be back in 12 minutes to recap first half play, bring you second half action here at Christian Academy of Louisville. 49-0 Centurions.
No, they're not.
Welcome back, Christian Academy Louisville football, where Centurions lead 49-0 at halftime over Western Hills. And as you can tell from the score, it has been all Centurions. It started on the first drive of the game. Centurions start their own 36, and it was a 64-yard run by Gavin Copenhaver that put them up 7-0 after an extra point by Jackson Barrickman. After a 3-and-out by Western Hills, it was a punt, and we have come used to this. Justin Ruffin, a great punt returner, returned this one 39 yards for a touchdown, and just like that, it was 14-0. Western Hills did get a first down on the next series thanks to a face mask by the Centurions, but they finally had to punt. Centurions got the ball on their own 25, and the very next play, Cole Hodge, a 75-yard run, running with some speed we didn't know Cole Hodge even had, as he goes 75 yards, and it is 21-0 Centurions. Next series, Centurions got their first turnover of the game as Gavin Copenhaver recovered a fumble that was forced by Gunnar McKinley. And in 2 plays later this time, the longest drive of that first quarter to that point in time, it was Andy Russell with a 2-yard run. He went in for the TD, Barrickman with the extra point, and it was 28-0 Centurions. Western Hills 3-and-out on the next play as well, but the Centurions, they got the ball this time. They fumbled on their first play, gave it back to Western Hills, who then had to punt. Centurions then had a 3-play drive, their longest drive of that first half. It was a 20-yard run by Jalen McRoberts. Extra point was good. Centurions up 35-0, and after another punt by Western Hills, a 2-play drive that covered 12 yards, ended in a 1-yard run by Nate Heidenreich, and Asa Yos in with the extra point on this play. And believe it or not, that all happened in the first quarter, and it was 42-0 at the end of the first quarter. The running clock then started. After a punt by Western Hills, it was a 1-play series, this time a 57-yard laser bomb from Cole Hodge to brother Connor Hodge, and it was 49-0. And that is how we ended the first half. And Draper, I think you have first half stats.
Yeah, quite a bit of stats here. And one of the things I liked about Cal in this first half is they found a way to get the ball to multiple receivers, which is all at the helm of quarterback Cole Hodge. He was perfect in the fourth half, 6 of 6 for 148 yards, an average of 25 yards per throw. His longest was 53 yards to brother Connor Hodge and 1 TD. Cole has also managed to find a way to find the end zone, as you mentioned, Mike, there on the ground. I mean, had a nice run there early in the mid first quarter there. So for a long of 75 yards, and he was able to find the end zone. Also, Jalen McRoberts has had a couple of carries, and one that he had, he's was able to find the end zone. Also, Gavin Copenhager has been very involved here in the run game tonight. So collectively, they've got multiple backs involved in the offense, and they've been extremely productive there. On the receiving end of things, as you talked about, Nate Heinreich, Connor Hodge, Jalen McRoberts, Trey Cotton, and Gunnar McKinley all were heavily involved in the offense. And Connor Hodge was 1 catch for 53 yards in the TD, and everyone else was strong contributors there. On the opposite side there at Western Hills, they have certainly not had a lot to be happy about on tonight. Quarterback Garrison Graves, despite having a lot of time to throw the ball, is 3-11 of tonight for 17 yards. And they certainly have not been able to find much success in the run game. Running back Jaden Samuels has been their leading run carrier tonight. He's had 9 attempts, but he's not been able to successfully be able to get any positive yards. And others like Cameron Flynn as well and Zavion Reed have also had some carries here in the ball game. And receiving, They've had a couple of players again. Xavier Reed, 1 catch for 10 yards. Jaden Samuels, 2 catch for 7. But ultimately, not a lot of success. And overall here, I started out with the individual stats, but Cal has held Western to only 2 first downs in the ball game. They have not been very efficient on third down. They've been 1 for 7 there, and they have negative 23 yards here in the first half in comparison to Cal, where we've amassed 310 yards. We've been able to score very quickly here on a lot of one-play drives at one point in the game. We were 3 for 3 offensive plays, 3 scores, and we've had 10 TDs, and our efficiency in terms of completions and attempts has been extremely successful, and our yards per play, and we found a way to really limit a lot of the penalties here on tonight. So offensively great. And let's turn our heads a little bit defensively. I know the offense has had a lot of quick plays. They've been in and out, and the defense has certainly held its own. And just a slew of Cal players that have contributed tonight. And that certainly has been Connor Hodge and Justin Ruffin and Connor Franklin, Isaac Patrick, Gavin Copenhager, Chapman Russell, Braden Robinson, and Cooper May, and Nate Einreich, Sam McEwen, Nathan Carlisle, Gunnar McKinley, and a slew of other defensive players gotten involved on here tonight. So very pleased with what we've seen, and just looking forward to see how we manage the second half, Mike.
I tell you, I'm down here watching some punters and kickers practicing. I just saw Jackson Barrickman missed by maybe 2 yards, a 53-yard field goal attempt down here.
Yeah, and that's the excitement you like to see on senior night. You know, you're having some success. Plenty of people are getting involved on the action. And why not, explore some things? Can we kick some field goals that we may need later on down in the postseason? Can we get some younger guys some confidence to make some contributions later in the postseason as well? And that's certainly the beauty of a night like tonight.
Well, Centurions will be kicking off to start this second half. Again, we are running clock. It is 49-0 Centurions, as they just dominated this first half. You know, we talked about Western Hills, 34 people on the roster. Draper, I don't think they have more than 20 players in uniform tonight.
I don't think so either. I was looking at them in the pregame warm-ups, and I thought they were coming out by units, meaning the receivers, quarterbacks come out, the linemen come back out separately. But after a while, I quickly noticed that was actually the entire team. So they're not very deep at all, and this is certainly a season where there's lots of growing pains.
Jason Coleman in to kick off here to start the second half. It'll be Cleveland and Flynn deep for the Wolverines. At least I think that is Cleveland. Yes, it is. And this second half is underway. It is going to be a line drive kick fielded by Samuels at the 23, trying to get outside, and he's going to be brought down. A good run by Samuels. It took about 5 Centurions to bring him down, but bring him down they finally did. But he gets all the way up to about the 32, it looks like.
And that was an interesting return by Samuels because he kind of caught the ball. He paused. He didn't quite have the burst. So I'm not quite sure what took place, but nevertheless, as you stated, he was able to get some positive momentum.
So 1st and 10 from their own 32 for the Wolverines. Garrison Graves back out at quarterback with Samuels to his left. They have 7 subs available. So that's 18 players. Graves back to pass. Here comes the rush. And he's going to be, did he get rid of the ball?
Looks like he got rid of the ball at the very end of the play with his left hand to not have any losses. And definitely just really good pressure there by number 41, Nathan Ehrenborg, the junior there. So like the pressure there from the backside.
I guess he did not get rid of the ball. They're going to say it is a loss all the way back to the 27-yard line.
Well, maybe he stepped out and then got rid of the ball. But it sure looked like from this view on the backside that he was able to get rid of the ball prior to going out of bounds.
Along with Ehrenborg across the front, it looks like it is Zachary Wampler, the freshman. And also Asa Yos, I think, is on that front line defensively. on that front three. In motion goes Cleveland. Graves fakes it. He keeps it, goes up the middle, and he's going to get a pretty good amount of yardage. Finally brought down by Chapman Russell and Jeffrey Van Zanna. He gets all the way up to the 37-yard line. That'll bring up a 3rd and 5.
And it's been a while since Western Hills has brought the backside pulling guard and tackle, and that really is what created that run lane there. When you got some of those young guys in, they've been coached up to really pinch down when they start to see those pulling guards, and the difference is sometimes it's just how quickly you recognize those offensive linemen pulling.
Trips to the right, one receiver to the left. Hand off to Samuel, starts right, cuts back left, and he is not going to get to the first down. He was hit hard by Connor Franklin on the top side. On the bottom side, Jason Hilliard wrapped his legs up.
Yeah, and you certainly know that Samuels is certainly getting the brunt of the workload on the offensive there, and looks like he's decided to take it upon himself and just continue to ask the coach to allow him to have the ball in his hands as he's continuing to fight for those tough yardages.
4th and 3 for Western Hills. They're going for it.
Yeah, what do you got to lose, Mike? I mean, you're down 49-0. It looks like pretty much that, you have a lot of backup guys in, and maybe you can try and draw them off sides or just catch them with some type of trick play here. So it'll be interesting to see what they do on 4th and 4.
In motion goes Cleveland. And Graves is going to keep it again, tries to get outside to the right side, being chased, and he's going to be brought down. A penalty flag goes down. I think it's going to be a horse collar on the tackle, Nathan Ehrenborg. He is just shy of the first down, but I think that flag is going to be against the Centurions.
And I've seen that flag thrown, and sometimes it's a situation where if the player is not pulled backwards and they immediately release from that area, they don't throw it. But at this juncture of the game, it certainly looks as if they're going to tack on an additional yardage here on the back end of the play.
So make it a 15-yard penalty, moves the ball all the way to the 44-yard line in Centurion territory.
And that play was successful, too. They were reading the end and did a counter fake and got some yardage.
Cleveland in motion, gets the handoff this time, gets some room around the left end. He is knocked out of bounds on the far side for the Centurion. Samuel Moskovich and Stone Perkins joined together to push him out of bounds, but about a 5-yard gain.
And it seems as though they're finding some success getting around the edge, They hadn't really changed up their blocking technique, but it's just more so about the younger guys for Cal just being in the right position and really striking with their hands, creating some separation and getting upfield and not allowing the offensive player to either hook them if they're the tackle or get around the edge there. So it's something to continue to watch for as the second half continues.
Graves hands off to Samuels, and he is going to be stood up in the backfield. Good job back there for the Centurions by Jacob Settle. Make it a 1-yard loss, put the ball to the 41. It'll be 3rd and 7 for the Wolverines.
And you like to see this tenacity of these guys. You get an opportunity to go against competition in the JV games and obviously going against some of the best here in the conference and practice on a daily basis. So nice job here by the defense.
3rd and 7. Graves hands off to Samuels again. Starts left, goes right, but he is going to be hit by about 2 or 3 Centurions. He still gets a couple more yards.
And it's always been very interesting to me.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's always been very interesting to me when I take a look at some of these backs. A lot of them like to read their blocks and wait on the cuts and slow play it. And then you have others that just like to really hit the gap and just try to get the yards of the field. Samuels tonight, I've seen him do it a lot of different ways, but more than anything, he's looking for the cutback, and our defensive linemen are just not allowing it with the slants, and they're really clogging the holes.
Moskovich and Franklin in on that last tackle. We have 4th and 6. Western Hills going for it. Flynn goes in motion, but we got whistles blowing. And we got illegal procedure on the Wolverines, so that'll make it 4th and 11.
Yeah, freshman Michael Cleveland there. Just got a quick start there, and I guess he didn't have communicated to him the snap count, and certainly cost them there on 4th down. But again, what do they have to lose? You know, they're down 49-0, and they're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Trips to the left or to the right for Graves. One receiver to the left.
That's okay.
See if the Centurions get some pressure in there. Back to pass. He lets it throw. It is incomplete pass. No flag. Riley Wentz on the coverage. He was going for Braden Flynn down the right side. Centurions will take over on downs.
Yeah, that's really just great coverage there on the back end. So it's good coverage there. All right, and I really want to give a special shout out to one of our student athletes here at Cal, and I've had the fortunate opportunity to get to know his family, and I want to congratulate 8th grader Aiden Taylor, who won the KHSAA Middle School Cross Country State title.
Daniels in at quarterback. First play, a pass out to the right. Going to be short. Going out there for Riley Wentz. So in at quarterback, Colin Daniels for the Centurions.
It's nice to see Colin again just get in and getting some game experience. And we've watched him, too, the last couple of games. And it's been pretty consistent with his reads. And just over time, I think he's certainly going to turn out to be a pretty nice quarterback here for Cal.
12 for 19 on the season, 136 yards with 2 touchdowns. More importantly, no interceptions. I believe that is Van Zanna in the backfield with him. Back to pass again. Gets it going to be broken up, incomplete, going for Riley Wentz across the middle again. Breaking up the play, Xavion Reed.
And as you can see, his delivery, I mean, his line continues to give him time for the reads. He's locked in on the receiver, and a nice release there on the ball, but just not enough to really reel it in. So as we look at 3rd and 10 here, do we try and give the ball to the running back here, or go back to the slant there on the single receiver side?
Back to pass. Here comes pressure, and Daniel's going to be sacked. On the sack, first sack of the night, Perrin Thompson for the Wolverines, and that brings up a 4th and very long.
And as a young quarterback, you know, you have that internal clock in your head, and it almost just makes you think, was there a missed assignment there on the back end, because we hadn't quite seen a rush from the backside all night. I know we got a couple of subs here in the game as well, but, you know, they're going to go for it here on 4th and 18.
4th and 18. They are going for it. And why not? Like you said earlier, Draper. Van Zanna in the backfield. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right for the Centurions. It's a handoff to Van Zanna. He gets around the right side. He's got some room. He's got the first down, and he's going to go all the way. But we got a flag down, and I think that play is coming back.
Yeah, it was a great run, and I was looking on the outside, and, you know, those referees tend to watch those receivers, especially on the outside on those big runs. And Riley Wentz, the junior there, he was locked in there with a defensive back, and just looks like he held on for a little too long.
Take away the 63-yard touchdown run by Van Zanna. We have seen the speed of Van Zanna up the middle. We have not seen him on the sweep very often, but, man, he got outside and put in another gear.
He did, and that's very promising for the future there, when you certainly just see him get to the outside, cut the speed on, and you look back and you think you've scored, and unfortunately there's a penalty there. But you can't fault the receiver. He's blocking for his guy. He's out there doing everything he's been coached to do, and it just didn't go his way there on the big run.
4th and 21, Centurions going for it again. Hand off to Van Zanna again to the left side this time. He's got some room, and he's going to do it again from the left side. He takes off down the sideline. Jeffrey Van Zanna said, I don't care about a penalty. I'm going to run it 66 yards for a touchdown.
Well, in my playing days, the coach always asked, what play do we have for a 4th and 20? That's certainly one right there that you don't draw up, but it certainly worked there right here on 4th down. So he went to the right, got a holding penalty, said, hey, we'll come to the backside left, and he did a little kick step there to kind of elude the defender and off to the races, and a nice score there by the freshman.
In for the extra point for the Centurions, Jason Coleman. The Centurions are up 55-0. Kick is up by Coleman. It is good. And Centurions at the end of 3 quarters of play as we come to the end go up 56-0.
Well, we said out in the offset that this was an opportunity tonight to make history. And so far, definitely, as we look at the point total for the night, it's our higher scoring output of the season. So at this pace, we'll see what else is to come, going further back beyond this 2022 season.
That is Van Zana's 5th touchdown of the year. And I tell you, he has been an impressive freshman, Draper, offense and defense.
He has certainly been impressive. And what the thing that impresses me the most is just his patience. Oftentimes as a freshman, when you get in the ball game, you don't allow the game to come to you. You don't really get a good feel for the game. And also the pace of the game is something that you have to get acclimated to when you talk about the game. And that's at every level. At every level, the players you get bigger, they get faster, they get stronger. The IQ is intensified, and just finding your fit. And we're certainly seeing him find his fit as the season has moved forward.
Jason Coleman in the kickoff. His last 2 kickoffs has gone to the up man, who has been Samuels each time. So we'll see where he kicks it to this time as we start 4th quarter play with Centurions up by 56. And this one, he got a little foot behind it there. It is going to be taken by Cleveland at the 10, and he's going to trip and go down on his own volition at about the 21 or 22.
Congratulations to the Cal 7th and 8th grade field hockey team who recently won the JCPS Middle School League Championship. So a lot of great things happening here, especially from our middle school standpoint.
Well, that high school field hockey team, one of the best in the country, is being followed up by these middle schoolers.
I know, just a pipeline of talent for sure.
So tell, have you talked about your football team yet? I heard they won last week, got a big playoff game tomorrow, don't you?
Well, we certainly do. I hadn't had a chance to talk about them yet, but certainly going to do so here shortly, Mike.
Graves at quarterback. In motion goes Cleveland. Cleveland gets the ball, trying to get left hand. Ball is on the ground. Van Zana forced it and falls on it. Jeffrey Van Zana, just as we talked about his big touchdown run and what he has done on offense and defense, recovers a fumble.
Yeah, and that's what you like to see. I mean, he's just a playmaker, whether that be in special teams, whether that be offensively, and as you can see there defensively, just his awareness, forced the fumble, recovered the fumble, and now put himself in a position to maybe score here again. I got to believe Coach Cantwell is going to reward him here, especially with this short down and distance, and give him an opportunity to get another touchdown.
Van Zana in the backfield. Daniels up under center. Hand off to nope, it is not Van Zana. We have a new back in there. It is number 8. Just enclosed those 3 on Van Zana. Jacob Settle on the run.
Also, I want to give a shout out to our 8th grade volleyball team who finished with a perfect season with a record of 19-0. As well as came away with the Mid-Bluegrass League and tournament champion. So lots of great things happening in middle school athletics.
So it is 2nd and goal for the Centurions from the 6, and we got a timeout as Coach Cantwell wants to draw up a play here, I think. Great time to talk about your football team.
Yeah, so I certainly want to congratulate the team. Last weekend, we were able to play in the conference championship against North Odom and came out victorious. So the first time in the Mid-Bluegrass Conference that we've been able to win that conference championship since an existence back in 2015. So I'm extremely excited about the future, and we have another big game against Raceland here tomorrow. So if you're out there listening, we would love for you to come out and support us. Kickoff is at noon, and we're in for a really good matchup here tomorrow at noon.
Well, that'd be awesome. Great time to tell you what, there's an alumni baseball game at 11 o'clock. Then just come over and watch the football game. Then you can stay and watch the field hockey game tomorrow night.
That's it. It's always, I had a parent tell me there's always something going on here, and for sure. And better believe it's extremely competitive.
Centurion football back in action next week. This, by the way, is Mike Botello, Draper Hall with the action for you tonight. Glenn, if I can get this out, Glenn Franklin, video maestro, bringing us all the different angles of camera views tonight. Centurions back in action, final regular season game next week at Eastern High School. And then the playoffs will start the following week. And most of those should be right here at Christian Academy, since Centurions are the number 2 ranked RPI in the state. Hand off to Settle again. He goes behind his blockers. And it's a touchdown. Settle with a 6-yard run. I believe that is his first touchdown of the season for the freshman. He almost had one last game and got tackled with the 1 or 2 at the end of the game.
Yeah, and it's again, you said it earlier in the game, multiple people having the ability to score here. So definitely want to congratulate him on his first career touchdown.
Coleman in the kick, Bryce Wilson to hold. Bryce Wilson doing the counting of how many players on the field. And notice there was 1 too many. Had one come off for the Centurions. Good job by the young holder. Ball's down, kick is up, and kick is good. Jason Coleman. Oh, it's no good. Went off to the left.
Yeah, they got some pressure there on the left side, and maybe it just tried to kick away from it. And a rare miss there from an extra point standpoint for Kyle.
But Centurions still score. They go up 62-0 with 8:29 to go in the game. Clock is running.
Yeah, and I'm looking over there on the sideline. I know most are wondering, it's 62-0. What do you do as a coach? And you do exactly just that. You continue to coach your players. You find opportunities for them to really dig deep and understand that this game is one that has to be played with great patience and discipline, and it's a learning opportunity in the midst of the loss. So that's the message. The takeaway is collectively it's been a rough season for Western Hills, and certainly this is one that they want to kind of get behind them and just go back and look at the film and just see where they were able to have minimal success against this stout defense and just try to build on it as they finish out the regular season.
Coleman in for the kickoff with that 62nd point. Centurions, that is the 5th highest output ever for a Centurion team. Samuels is going to get it about the 25, and he's going to bring it up to about the 36-yard line, it looks, and that's where Western will take over. 7:18 to go in the game.
And I have to believe that, the majority of the players have had an opportunity to get in the game tonight. For a while, there were sequences, especially on defense, that they were substituting one guy every single play at different positions, and collectively they've had the opportunity to get multiple guys a look here, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But we've also had quite a few that are able to rotate in offensively.
Cooper May in the game now for the Centurions. First time I've called his name tonight. Graves is going to keep it up the middle. Connor Franklin's going to sniff that one out and bring him down.
And we talk about areas where they have had success. Early on in the ball game, they were allowing the motion to really take them to where the ball was going. And what we've seen them do is late is sort of use that motion as a decoy. And I guess that's something that they thought that they would have success with, considering the youth of the defense that we have in the game at this time. And the quarterback is not necessarily reading the end, but just kind of taking advantage of the opportunity to get those linebackers moving in the wrong direction and him going back with the counter. So they're lined up now here in this gun formation.
A couple new players along this defensive line we'll get you caught up with in a minute. Flynn goes in motion, but it's going to be a handoff to Samuels. He's got some room on the left side, but nice tackle coming across with the tackle and bringing him down. Cooper May, the freshman.
I really like the way Cooper May.
I'm sorry, it's Copper May. I'm sorry.
Oh.
It says Copper. Is it Cooper or Copper? Oh, it is. Never mind. It's Cooper.
I thought it was Cooper.
It says Copper on our roster, and I called him Cooper, and I heard someone else say Copper, but it is Cooper.
Yeah, excellent tackle there, Cooper May. He saw the alley. He got downhill. Good read and response there, and nice tackle there on the running back.
Micah Aiken is in the game. I know that. We'll see. Check out who else is in the game here momentarily. Flynn's going to get it on as he goes in motion, tries to cut back, and he is going to be hit and brought down on the tackle for the Centurions. Trey Harden along with Joshua Merritt. But it is a first down into Centurion territory at the 49.
Freshman on freshman right there. Freshman Cameron Flynn with some really hard running there as he reversed field and was able to pick up a first down.
Grant Hughes is in the game. As we said, Micah Aiken in the game. Chapman Russell is in the game. Also, Trey Harden for the first time tonight that we have seen is in the game. In the defensive backfield out there, Joel Green, the freshman. So a lot of freshmen getting first-time action tonight.
Yeah, and out there too on the island at corner, want to give a shout-out to Stone Perkins.
Stone Perkins, we've seen him on the offensive receiving side a lot this year, but not a whole lot. And here's going to be a sack, and we got a penalty flag that came down. It may have been a face mask, but I'm telling you, coming out of nowhere and shooting to get the thing, Patrick Money, the junior. We're going to see it is a face mask. He came in one-on-one and put his arms in there and accidentally got the face mask.
I'm almost starting to think that's a strategy by Western Hills. As you're getting tackled, stick your face mask into the hands of the defender to get us 15 yards, because that's about the thing that's worked here tonight.
Jack Mars, a freshman, into the game for Centurions now. As that ball is walked up. You know what? You get great analysis with this broadcast team right here, I'm telling you.
We do have young guys in there, but this is the most face calls we've had.
So it is a first down. The ball's at the 49. I tell you, face mask, at one time it was a 15-yard penalty. These next two times it's only been a 5-yard penalty.
I don't know. I got to go back and read up. I don't know if it's from the spot or,
Well, even from the spot, it's only a 5-yard penalty. That's what's confusing. Being chased out of the pocket is Graves, and he's going to throw it away again. Chasing him again, Patrick Money. Man, Patrick Money had a sack, and he's all fired up now, man.
He is, and I heard his Ric Flair, woo, all the way up here. So it's great to see him play with that sort of excitement and passion.
Micah Aiken with pressure. Jacob Settle in on the defensive side with pressure. Tell you, man, Money's ready to go again, buddy. Grant Hughes along that defensive front as well. In motion goes Flynn. He gets the ball, trying to get outside on the right side. He's got some room, but he is brought down. A great tackle on the far side. I believe that was Elijah Dale, the freshman, on the tackle. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 7 for the Wolverines. 1:35 to go in the game. Centurions going for their 5th shutout of the year. That would tie them for most shutouts in a season of Cal history. Flynn goes in motion again. Same play, has the ball, but he is knocked out of bounds by a couple of Centurions on the far side. It was Settle out there, was one of them.
Yeah, great patience, great poise by the cornerbacks there and coming up on that play and really getting a nice read.
That's going to bring up a 4th and 4. Benjamin Stott's in on that play, I think, too. 42 seconds. I think they are just going to hold the ball for one last play, then call it a night. Got a player on Western Hills, must have brought the wrong helmet tonight. Either an all-white helmet. Hand off to Cleveland. Got some room on the left side, but another nice tackle, Centurions. It is Cooper May with the tackle. A couple great tackles we've seen by Cooper May.
Yeah.
And I believe that's going to be the game.
Yeah, and Cooper May right there is just showing his fieriness there to come up, make a play in the open field, and really just finish the tackle there. So a lot of great things, a lot to be excited about as you think about these young guys making plays here at the end of the game.
And that's going to be the game. Centurions with a 62-0 victory. We'll be back in a minute to talk about tonight's contest. Welcome back, Christian Academy of Louisville. Centurions with a 62-0 victory tonight. Just a little record keeping here. That was the tied for the 5th most points ever scored by a Centurion team in a football game. The most is 69 all the way back in 2010. It was tied for the largest winning margin ever by the Centurions. 2 other times Centurions have beat a team by 62 points, both by the same margin of 62-0. Once over Holy Cross Covington in 2018, over Thomas Nelson all the way back in 2013. So put this game in the record book to tie both of those games as the largest winning margin ever. As we have a running clock, the majority of the damage done in that first quarter for the Centurions, where they scored 6 touchdowns in that first quarter to go up 42-0. I'll just go over the touchdowns here. A 64-yard run by Gavin Copenhaver on the first play of the game. A 39-yard punt return by Justin Ruffin. Cole Hodge then showed his speed with a 75-yard touchdown run. Then some players that don't play a whole lot, at least on the offensive side, with a couple of touchdowns. Andy Russell with a 2-yard run touchdown. Jalen McRoberts, he's played a lot. He had a 20-yard run, but then Nate Heidenreich, who's seen some receiving over his years here at Christian Academy, but he had a 1-yard run for a touchdown. Asa Yos with the extra point to make it 42-0 at the end of the first quarter. Second quarter, Centurions able to score once, and it was a 57-yard bomb from Cole Hodge to Connor Hod. That made it 49-0 at halftime. In the second half, third quarter, Centurions scored once again. It was a 66-yard run by Jeffrey Van Zanna. After it was 4th and 18, he ran a 61-yard touchdown run to the right. That ball, there was a holding call on that. Moved it back to the 66, or to the, not the 66-yard line, moved it back to the 36-yard line. And Van Zanna just said, well, I'll go to the left side this time. That he did and completed the touchdown run, a 66-yard run. With the extra point was Coleman. That made it 56-0. Then after Jeffrey Van Zanna recovered a fumble, Centurions took over at the 10. Finally, Jacob Settle, a 6-yard run to give the Centurions their final touchdown of the night. The extra point was no good, and that brought us to the 62-0 victory. That puts the Centurions at 9-0 on the season. As we said, their 5th shutout of the season, which I cannot remember which team it ties, but there was another Cal team that had 5 shutouts in a year. Centurions are tied with that record. We talked about the largest margin and the points where they are in the record book with that game. But the main point, Draper, is they go 9-0. Western Hill goes 2-7. And we're going to let you talk about stats, and we'll talk about the game a little bit more.
Yeah, tonight just all around, just great play by Cal. Total yards they amassed tonight were 377 yards, and 140 of those was in the passing game. They also had 200 and so yards, I guess, there from a rushing standpoint as well. And then they were really led here by Cole Hodge. Again, he finished the first half 6 of 6, 148 yards, an average of 25 yards per throw, 53 yards to Connor Hodge there was his longest, and 1 TD. And also from a rushing standpoint, Cole Hodge was also able to get involved early there, had a nice 75-yard touchdown run, called his called his own number there. And Jeff Fenzana, want to also just give him a shout out. He had a couple of runs there for 66 yards, and he also was able to find the touchdown. And late in the game, we saw Jackson settle 2 carries for 9 yards and a touchdown as well. And also Jalen McRoberts was able to find his way in the end zone. So nice running there, and even Gavin Copenhager getting involved in the mix there also. From a receiving standpoint, a really great night here tonight. I mean, we saw Connor Hodge, 1 catch for 53 yards and a touchdown. Nate Heinrich got a pass as well for 12 yards. Jalen McRoberts was involved in the passing game. And also Trey Cotton, 1 catch for 37 yards. And Gunnar McKinley, we saw him early in the game catch a few passes for 42 yards. And transitioning over to Western Hills, just wasn't their night tonight. -3 total yards for the game. They only was able to amass 5 first downs throughout the game, and 1 of those was passing. They had several rushing attempts, but they was not able to be successful on the ground attack tonight. So Garrison Graves, 3 carries for 13. Passing, he was 3 of 13 for 17 yards. And then as you look at their run game, as I mentioned, not a whole lot of success there. Cameron Flynn was the leading rusher with 4 carries for 17 yards, followed by Micah Cleveland, 2 carries for 11, and multiple carries there by Jaden Samuels. But that stout defense was not able to allow him to have any positive yards, as he had 13 total carries for 3 yards. So simply a lot to be proud. And you talk about the shutout, Mike, 62-0 tonight. They've had multiple shutouts throughout the entire season, and I won't even go down the list of players that contributed and made tackles. And I just want to congratulate the defensive unit collectively, because if they were in the game, they were certainly making plays. And if their names were not being called on the loudspeaker for making a tackle, they certainly contributed to, based upon the fact that they were doing what they were coached to do. Hit those gaps, pinch down. Linebackers are clean, running through those gaps. They're making open field tackles, getting their hands on balls, and they're playing really well up front as well, getting upfield from the defensive line position. So all around, great job tonight by this coaching staff and this group of players. Senior night was a success. The atmosphere was very electric, and way to stamp it tonight with a 62-0 win.
Draper, I get this defense. One thing I got to talk about, and we've had some very good defenses here over the year, but this appears player for player one of the better tackling teams that I've seen here at Christian Academy.
I agree. I've been fortunate now, for the last 5 years to be a part of this program, and more closely, work with you for the past 3 years and watching it firsthand, the progression. And these guys started out as sophomores. You start to see some, early rookie mistakes, but now that they're seniors, especially this linebacking core, you're right. They're setting the pace. They're setting the tone. And it's just something you work on. When you talk about defenses that are great, they have the ability to make plays one-on-one, whether that be through the tackles or in the open field, and they're just well-positioned, and that's not, by mistake. They practice it. Eyes to the thighs, wrap roll, and really moving their legs and aggressive and not giving up any yardage if all possible as a stout defensive unit.
62-0 Centurions. Next week, Centurions go to Eastern. Let's talk playoffs a little bit. This year it is a little different. Centurions are cross-districting with District 3. So what that means, Centurions, who are the number 1 seed, will play the number 4 seed out of District 3, which right now, going into ninth play, is LaRue County. Centurions are ranked number 2 in the RPI ranking. LaRue County is 20, but then it may get a little tougher. Second game of that series would be the winner of the number 2 seed from District 3 and the number 3 seed from District 4. That would be E-Town against Mercer County. E-Town ranked the number 8th team in the state and always a very good football team. That game would be here with Centurions being number 2 in the state every game, if they stay there, every game up until the final game at UK will be right here at Christian Academy. If they win that game, then it ends the crossover district. Then you go to best RPIs throughout districts 1 through 4. If that stays true, Centurions will be hosting Union County, who's the number 1 seed out of District 1 and the number 3 overall RPI. But that's some games away. But just kind of want to give you a heads up on that. We'll talk more about that next week. But we got next week, Centurions go back to the 6A route and go to Eastern, a team they've never lost to. But you play a 6A team, there's always a battle there going to be, especially at Eastern.
Yeah, it'll be a nice battle. As you mentioned, we're going to Eastern to play this game. And I just get the feel when you look at Cal's record, every team that they're playing is going to give you their best shot. It's going to be their championship, whether they feel like they have a chance or not. Those coaches are going to dial up plays and schemes that are going to give them, hopefully, the best chance that they have to treat it in such a championship-like atmosphere. But, again, just based on the consistency that I've seen of this team this year, they've always found a way to get it done, whether on the road, here at home, getting players involved and really having a true identity defensively and offensively has truly been a formula for success and just an area of consistency. So lots of excitement as you talk about the playoff picture.
Once again, a 62-zip win for the Centurions tonight. They go to 9-0 on the season. There are 4 other teams at Christian Academy that have started their seasons out, or I guess 3. Excuse me, got me all choked up talking about this. 3 other teams that have started their seasons at Christian Academy at 9-0. Those teams are the teams from 2018. That, of course, is the Cal team that went undefeated and won the state tournament that year. The other ones are the teams from 2014, 2013. The 2014-2013 teams, both those teams lost their 10th game of the season. 2018, of course, undefeated 15-0 on that season. We'll see if the Centurions can beat us one of 2 Cal teams that go 10-0 next week. Big thanks to Glenn Franklin on video tonight. Draper, always great working with you, man. Thanks for doing it.
Likewise, it's always lots of fun.
And big thanks to all you fans who joined us tonight. For Glenn Franklin, Draper Hall, this is Mike Botello saying, have a blessed weekend, everybody. We'll see you next Friday on LiveSportscaster.com from Eastern High School. Once again, a 62-0 victory for the Centurions tonight. Good night, everybody.